So as we were just saying before we got started, if you are not eating your girl's ass,
somebody is.
And I'm somebody.
And Mitch Aguiar is in fact somebody. Fuck yeah. So tonight is an exciting night because Gregory Lapin, one of my best friends walking planet Earth, got his black belt. We've been celebrating. We've been consuming alcoholic beverages.
Just a little bit.
Cheers.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Sochi boys.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Mitch even came down, and it's been a fucking good weekend. We got stuff to talk about, and we're going to continue drinking alcoholic beverages, talking shit. And this is probably not a child-friendly episode.
Definitely not a child-friendly episode. Hey, and
wait, you already said some vulgar shit without prefacing that. We'll have to...
All right, and we're going to go over some ground rules right now, because normally we have 2 people on the podcast, or even 1, because
I think these ground rules are primarily for Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
How many podcasts have you been on?
A couple.
We're going to let one person talk at a time. But, dude, let's open this up right out of the gates. Bro, you're a fucking black belt now.
It's wild.
You've done the Greg and Greg show a handful of times.
A bunch. As a brown belt.
I've done the Greg and Mitch show. Vic did an episode with me, and now we're all together. So it's the Greg and Mitch show with Vic.
Because we were planning on doing the Greg and Mitch show. We've had this in the works for a while.
Yeah.
And Vic was an unexpected surprise.
I just happened to be here.
And now he's
a
here.
pretty face, apparently.
He's the young Jamie
I got
today.
voted prettiest face at the restaurant tonight.
2 years ago.
I didn't want to allow Vic on this episode, but since he's Mexican, if I excluded him,
racist, bro.
I'd be a racist piece of shit.
For the record.
So, bro, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, pretty fucking weird, honestly.
Your black belt, at least in my experience, your black belt doesn't feel real for like a couple of years.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because it's, I talk about this all the time. Leadership, any type of promotion in your life, I don't care if it's work, military, jiu-jitsu, promotions and leadership is a fucking burden.
100%.
And now you were just handed
the biggest burden of my life, to be honest with you.
You're now considered a subject matter expert in jiu-jitsu.
Which I was before, but now it's like there's a heavier toll.
Yeah.
You know?
You and I have talked about it before, but shortly before I got my black belt, there was a red belt. His name is Master Mergel.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me. He's like, you're going to be a black belt one day. And it's the only red belt I've ever fucking talked to in my entire life. And he goes, and I even said it to your students today. He goes, remember, the best thing that you can tell your students as a black belt is I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, not that you need to hear that, because you already have humility, because we've already walked a path that kind of ingrained that in us. But no, here you are, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's rad, you know, and like I was talking to Vic and talked to Mitch about it, and we all trained for a long time, you know, and we're the type of people we never cared what color was around our waist. When you do get promoted, you get a new color around your waist. You don't get magic powers the next day. Your jiu-jitsu is no different the next day. You know, and I've been grinding here, trying to run the best academy I can, and I've been competing, trying to lead by example. And I'm not a spring chick. I'm 43, and it was going to come one day if you just, for everybody, you just stay on the mat, and it's going to come. But my jiu-jitsu is no better now. So I show up somewhere tomorrow as a black belt, and all people see is a black belt.
You're held to a higher standard.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely.
Well, what's that feeling like of now at your own academy, you're now the black belt professor? Because before it was other coaches, correct?
No, I mean, I've been the head coach here for a long time, you know, after Jeremy had to move away. And my students know me. And the one thing that I tell my guys, I'm brutally honest. Which means you're not going to always like all the shit that comes out of my mouth. But you'll never have to guess where you stand with me. Never fucking have to guess. I'm brutally honest with everybody. And if I have an issue with something someone did on the mat, I address it that day. Even shame them in front of the whole fucking class. Like, you know, like it's got to get handled immediately. And everybody knows he's being real. Like, you know, so this doesn't change, you know, and I roll with all my belts, and there are some guys that are lower belts that still will tap me occasionally. And that's part of jiu-jitsu. When I was a purple belt, I tapped black belts. When I was a brown belt, I tap black belts, you know, like it's no different now that I'm a black belt. It's no different. Fuck. Mitch is wearing a brown belt, you know, and like he's fucking better than me, dude. Like he's been a brown belt a long time. That color doesn't really mean anything, but you know, yeah, now I'm a black belt. So
For sure.
you know, it's cool. But more important than my black belt is we raised $7,000 for Adopt a Cop BJJ, which to me is more important than my fucking black belt.
Yeah, bro. I mean, we've talked about Adopt a Cop on here before, but if you are a police officer and you don't think it's important to learn how to grapple, you're not being honest with yourself. And Mitch has taken it upon himself to create this nonprofit that gives you the opportunity to train for free at, what do you say, 600 different academies nationwide. Like the opportunity is now there. And I know a lot of police officers listen to this show, and I appreciate the profession. I love you guys. But at the same time, we talk shit to you guys if you're not training, because if you're a cop and you're not training, what you are doing is you are setting yourself up for failure. But not only you, you're setting your fucking partners up for failure as well.
And you're setting up the fucking public that you swore an oath to serve and protect. You're setting them up for failure. And you've heard me say this. I will be your biggest supporter and advocate if you show me that you want to work and learn and strive to be the fucking best. I will fucking climb mountains to help you. At the same time, I will be your harshest fucking critic, and I will force you to fucking quit and go sell fucking car insurance or fucking sell cars if you're not willing to put in the work. You're not doing someone's taxes. You're going out there, and at some point in your career, your fucking skill set and ability to problem solve and fight and fucking deal with evil, someone's life is going to rely on it. And if you're not willing to go the extra mile every fucking day, get the fuck out of here,
dude. And that's like piggybacking off of that like kind of mindset. You know how you're willing to be the biggest advocate and go, you know, climb a mountain for you or whatever. But if you're not putting in the work, like you're going to be held accountable or called out or whatever. And that's the same mindset and approach is that way with Adopt a Cop. BJJ, my charity, if it's an attendance-based sponsorship, so you know it's a 3-strike rule because
you have to go.
Like I'm reasonable with it in the sense like you have to train a minimum of 1 class per week, one time per week.
It's 1 hour a week. That's nothing.
Which is absolutely doable. It's not like that's not taxing or anything like that, and if people are going, if I'm going to ask people to donate like money, people donated $7,000 today towards the program, which by the way, the program costs over $25,000 every month to run. And so, you know, every dollar helps for sure. But like the point being like when we have people that donate their hard-earned money for you to train and learn a skill, then you're going to show up and train. And if you want to fuck off and take that for granted and squander this opportunity,
someone else will take it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Then get out, and someone else who's serious about taking the opportunity that's presented to them and you know, taking advantage of it in a good way. Like we want those people to be rewarded with this, you know, program.
Accountability, bro.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of cops that got kicked out of the program.
It's a 3-strike rule. So if you don't show up to 3 classes, then you're kicked out.
Yeah. And you have some expectations.
But you know, we can have like, hey, if you give us notice, like, hey, I can't because I'm going on vacation or something, like that's reasonable. It's fine or whatever. If you're injured, whatever.
I'm going to let the cops out there that are under the program. This is a pro tip because I have some guys that are under your program, right? And it's like, you ask for 1 attendance a week, and you also ask for, is it 1 social media post a week?
Well, that's how they check in.
That's how you check in, right?
Because that's how we use that content for our content for Adopt a Cop's page, and it's to show our donors like that we're not some bullshit charity that's just pocketing money, you know. Like this charity costs me a shitload of money every month that I personally, you know, come out of pocket for. But for our other donors who donate their hard-earned money, I want them to see that these cops are actually out here training and getting use of it.
So I'll tell you, and I don't know if this is a violation of the Adopt a Cop protocol or not, but my guy that's under that, he's like, hey, I'm going to be out of town next week and I'm not going to be able to train. So I'm going to train more this week and get some pictures and have them in the bank. So next week,
None of my cops do that. I'm just saying.
Hey, this guy's training 4 days a week, right? He's all in on it. But he's like, hey, since I'm not going to be available, I want to make sure.
Right, but
it's honestly fine because the point. The point is we want you training consistently,
of course.
But it's a minimum of once per week, but really it's minimum of, 4 times a month.
And you want to know what's cool about this is like,
you're only cheating yourself if you do that kind of shit.
So at this table, we have 2 black belts and 2 brown belts. So 4 guys that understand jiu-jitsu extremely well. And there is a moment in time between when you walk into the academy as a day 1 white belt and the day the blue belt gets tied around your waist, there's a moment in time that happens between those 2 things where it clicks and jiu-jitsu now makes sense to you. And bro, I don't know, like, it's different for everybody, but there's times when it's like, hey, this guy kind of sucked last week and now he's a motherfucker. It's like a month or 6 months or 8 months of jiu-jitsu now comes to fruition and he has that aha moment and now it works. And that's why I think it's such an important thing that Adopt a Cop is getting people to their blue belt, because before you have a blue belt tied around your waist, you have to have that aha moment where jiu-jitsu clicks for you.
I don't know if you get an aha moment. For me personally, it was when I was training a lot. It was when I was training consistently. It wasn't one moment where I was like, oh, okay. But when I was training, sometimes twice a day, 3 to 4 times a week for an extended period of time, whether it be 2 months of doing that, you can get and if you're only going to jiu-jitsu once a week for 6 months, you're going to get, that much jiu-jitsu, whatever that equals. But when you're going a lot consistently 2 times a day, or even just once a day, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, that shit, compounds way faster. Yeah. So you can get 6 months of jiu-jitsu done in a fucking month.
Well, so Greg, I'm curious because you said you had 3 guys who failed out of the program in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Was there something that could be done to help those people achieve that?
Yeah,
was it
quit
their
being
own,
lazy.
They're being faggots.
Okay.
They're being faggots, and then they wanted.
And this podcast is bringing the word faggot back.
Yeah, and then they wanted to blame. Well, I gotta check in with social. I'm like, motherfucker, I see those fucking selfies you post on fucking Facebook every fucking day about what energy drink you're fucking drinking. Give me a fucking break.
Fuck Monster.
Fuck Monster, by the way.
Energy.
Yeah, fuck Monster, by the way. Petty fucking bitches.
But I'll tell you, the aha moment, I don't think the individual feels that. So if you're training jiu-jitsu and you just heard me say that,
As
and
a
you're
coach.
I feel it as the coach.
Yeah, I've had that a lot with my students.
I'll
as the
fucking
coach.
give a shout out. I got a couple students right now. Alex is one of them. Chris is one of them. They're both cops. And the last few times I've rolled with them, I'm like, you might not feel this because you're in the grind every day, right? But me being on the outside looking in the last month, you have become a completely different fucking human being. And also, I go back and forth on this because I enjoy grinding with the team and getting hard rounds in. But the older I get and the more fucking injuries I'm facing, I find myself sitting out more often and observing my team, right? And I'm seeing people progress. So I know when other people reach that moment, and I'll pull them aside and I'll be like, hey, you're the one that's in the grind right now. You're in the fire. You might not know this, but I want you to know that I see it, and your jiu-jitsu has gotten substantially better in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah. And I usually get the same response. People are like, yeah, it kind of feels like I'm starting to understand it a little better, but I still suck. That's what I hear all the time.
That's part of that process.
And I say, just so you know, I'm a black belt and I still suck too.
Right.
Fair. I don't think anybody is ever satisfied with how good they are, because if you were satisfied with how good you are,
wouldn't do it
you
anymore.
wouldn't train anymore, right? We're all striving to get better. But was it you or Mitch that said the other day, it's like, if you can beat the version of yourself
3
up,
months ago.
that lets you know how fucking valid this is, right?
Yeah, well, like that's something that I love to tell beginners, you know, who have only done a handful of lessons. And I say that because, you know, I'm for the first time ever starting to like coach people and train people where I've always been the competitor. You know, I've always been the one, you know, being taught or being coached or whatever. And I'm out there competing and this and that. And I've never enjoyed teaching other people that kind of stuff. And, you know, I'm like, just fucking do it. I don't know, you know, like, True. But now I've recently been training, you know, some of my staff and stuff like that. And you know, who have no jiu-jitsu experience, and I'm showing them the basics and, you know, teaching them like kind of my first time at teaching. And I'm trying to teach in my own way, not trying to like just replicate what I've been.
Guys, you don't want to teach Gracie Jiu-Jitsu? My grandfather developed this program. Yeah, because you know, I take my, like what works for me or what my experience is, because that's the only experience I have is my own. And, you know, and I try to like fast track on some of the shit that I'm like, you know, and that's just me. And, you know, and that's, you're going to get a different flavor from everyone you learn from. But mine is just like, I'm going to just give them what I think is good and what has worked for me. And obviously, like I've done jiu-jitsu with some of the best people in the world. And, you know, so it's been rewarding seeing the people like when they had no information or no, you know, clean blank slate, and teaching them and then watching them roll with other people and them successfully doing what you taught them. Yeah, it's rad. And it's rewarding in a different way. Massively, bro. You know, and that's new for me.
And bro, I was going to tell you, because as a coach, I mean, I opened my gym in 2015. So it's been open for, you know, 6 years now. And inevitably your initial journey in jiu-jitsu is your own development, right? And we're all chasing our own development. God, this guy fucking tapped me out. I'm going to get him, right? And you want to make yourself better. But it's not until probably the last 12 to 18 months where I've realized how much more rewarding it is to bring development to other people as opposed to myself. And that for me, like, let's be honest, I'm fucking 41. I'm never going to be a fucking black belt world champion. Now, I don't say that disparagingly or say that I'm done learning, because I know that I will get a lot fucking better
in the years
than I am right now, right? But I found it to be tremendously rewarding watching other people grow. And not only does it make you like proud and like give you fulfillment, but when you understand how to build up other members of your team, inevitably you find yourself growing your jiu-jitsu as well simultaneously. And I think that is one of the most beautiful aspects of being academy owner, because you set the tone, you set the tempo, you're running the curriculum, you're building all these other people up, but then simultaneously they're building you up. And Lapin, you talked about that during the promotion ceremony. You said very few teams, like jiu-jitsu, people on its surface, it doesn't appear like a team sport, because you're out
go
there
out fight by yourself. You fight one
I
guy
never heard it
yourself.
phrased like you said it earlier.
But that was perfect, because the people to your left and your right, they are who develop you for when you do go out there and put it on the line.
Can you say that analogy again? That was pretty good.
Yeah, I just basically, you know, like any team sport, kids grow up doing soccer, baseball, football, ice hockey, whatever it is. Like, you know, if the fucking outfielder or shortstop doesn't make a play, well, then maybe your team will lose. But your capability on the field, your athletic, your ability to play that sport is never dictated by your teammates. They don't make you a better player, right? That's on you. Yep. That's individual.
There's a bunch of basketball players right now saying he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with that.
Right. But your
because
teammate
they do push you.
Yeah, but not while you're playing.
How does the shortstop
Baseball's
make you a
gay.
better? Yeah, agreed.
And not gay in like a homosexual way.
But like they may push you physically
in a faggot way.
But like, how do they make you a better player? Like, how do they increase your skill set? Like on the basketball court, like
you pass the ball, and then
how do you guys make my 3-pointers better?
Because in practice, you guys are practicing against each other and you're pushing each other. If you have a good team, I mean.
Damn it, I liked Lapin's analogy.
I was like, yeah.
Hey,
bro, just because we're all homies, we don't got to agree with each other.
But basically what I was saying, like, the team you guys,
that's the worst analogy ever heard.
From my white belts up, they've changed my jiu-jitsu. They've made my jiu-jitsu better. Without them, my jiu-jitsu wouldn't be what it is today. Not just from like coaches or black belts, you know, like.
Well, okay, it's a sport that you can't get really that great on your own.
100%.
Like basketball, you can get pretty good at basketball on your own. Like Michael Jordan puts in more time than his other teammates, and that's why he was the best.
You can throw the ball
Tom
and go
Brady,
to a batting cage, whatever.
Same thing.
Bro,
but the jiu-jitsu, you need good training partners.
Yes,
and I've actually had a lot.
Maybe that's what you meant.
There we go.
Maybe that's what you meant.
That's what I meant, bro.
I've had a lot of my students ask me, like, hey, look at this. This is like the Bob training partner, and I can drill arm bars and stuff. And I say the same thing as like, hey, that's a cool, like, little fucking, like,
that's like
gimmicky
fucking a
bunch of
blow-up
bullshit.
doll and thinking that you're going to get better at fucking.
That's you want to talk about spot on analogies? That's it, right? Because it doesn't matter. Like, drilling jiu-jitsu is awesome, but drilling jiu-jitsu on an inanimate object that's not giving you feedback, that's not giving you
that's the dumbest shit I've
the
heard
right
of.
kind of resistance, or there is an art to being a training partner.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And if I actually get frustrated when I see people that are like, hey, we're literally just drilling arm bars from the guard, and the top person doesn't have the correct base.
Right. It's just sitting way up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And it's
your
like,
training
sit the
partners
fuck
down, bro.
Definitely can make it or break you.
Yes.
And literally break you.
Yeah.
If you're like a dick training partner and
Or
you
just a spaz and you don't know.
or torque
Dude, you had
on
a
a
blue
knee
belt
or
today who
something
was
like
more-
that, they can fuck up your jiu-jitsu. Like they can fuck up your body, period.
Yep.
Or if they're just not a good partner and they're just going through the motions or whatever, you're not getting anything out of that. If you know, the better your training partner is, the better you're going to be.
Oh, like today we were rolling, we were sparring, and I was getting ready to go set my coyote, and I'm like, hey, which knee's your bad knee? Like in the middle, like I want to give him
You
a
were
hard
latched
round.
on my bad knee, but I didn't want you to stop doing what you were doing. That's why I said don't worry about it.
That's why I really didn't start dragging it, right? But like, I want to try to win. He wants to try to win. We're going to fight tooth and nail to do that, but I'm not going to injure him. I'm not going to fucking break him.
But I said,
like
do what you gotta do.
I'm not going to.
I'll tap
No,
if I
I
have
like
to.
that because here's
Greg
the thing.
said that, but he was going to let his foot break when they rolled last.
And I let go, motherfucker. As soon as I started hearing noise out of his foot, I let go.
That was my own ego, right? And here's the thing about ego. It's like everything else, and I'll use the word dichotomy, even though you probably hate that.
He probably hates that word. Should have worn my t-shirt.
You have to understand that, like, I actually hate it when people say, check your ego at the door. It's like,
No,
bro,
bring that bitch with
I'm
you.
going to slap and bump with
I
you.
said don't let your ego get you hurt.
There you go. That's it. Exactly. You have to find
Tap
the balance.
fast, train tomorrow.
Because I want to beat you. Like
sure.
when I went out to Massive a couple months ago and Mitch molested me, it's the truth, right? It's like, it bothered me because it's like, dude,
No one
like,
would wrestle with him today because of that video. No one.
bro, because last time we tried,
I went in, faked it.
including a black belt that I know.
I went in, faked the knee, pick and pulled
I
guard,
was looking
bro.
around watching, and every single person's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pull guard." And
No,
I'm
bro,
like,
he said to me as soon as I pulled guard, he goes, "You don't want to get snapped down." I said, "Fuck no."
no,
bro,
not
this is
today.
the reality. The previous time, because Mitch and I haven't trained a substantial amount. We've only rolled a few times. And when he came out to Washington, we had a good roll and it was kind of back and forth. And I got on top and then he reversed me. Like, it wasn't like, hey, this guy is better than you. Because when you roll with someone, you typically have an understanding when you're done, regardless if you get the tap or not, you kind of know where each other stands, right?
Yeah.
And we had a pretty good kind of back and forth roll. And so, and that's fine, right? Like I understand jiu-jitsu enough to know like there are guys that I can smash and there are guys that can smash me and there's everything in between. But then when I went out to his house, there was a different energy to it. And dude, like we're homies before, we're homies afterwards, but that doesn't mean that you don't go think about that at the end of the night. And I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Dude, I mean,
Like,
you have those kinds of sessions like that drive home with your best friends, right? Like, hey, I just got my ass whooped tonight. This is going to be a silent car ride home. I'm going to ponder the
Yeah.
meaning of life.
And
Well,
so-
when we were at your house, that was or at your gym. Was that the first time I had met you?
yeah,
Yes,
it was. 'cause
I
you
believe
flew
it
in.
was.
That's right.
It was the first time I met you.
I gave you my truck for the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm
And
like,
I-
I
and
know
back
this
to the
guy's
airport to pick
I
you
know
up.
this guy's a solid motherfucker. Bro, have my truck for the weekend. And you're like, okay.
I had come out to I just met you and I did your podcast. I think we did the podcast
We did.
already.
Yeah.
But that was my first time, like I was here at your jiu-jitsu class. These are your students, and like and we were in a kind of like a crowded, it was kind of crowded, not because your jiu-jitsu gym's small really, but there was a lot of people up there.
They came out to
so
see
we're
you
kind of
in
like
town.
in a confined space, and I'm like, I just met this dude, kind of like, just trying not to
First
be
date rules. We
an
talked about that
asshole.
yesterday.
First date rules.
You know what
man.
I mean? And I don't want you to like think I'm like coming at you to like fucking.
You don't stick it in the butt right
Do a
away
dick
on night
measuring
one.
contest.
Well, you were
Like,
mad at me
whatever.
today that I
You
did
gave the
first
little
date
old
rules.
tongue.
Hang on. You were mad at me today that we did first date rules. Even though we're homies,
We're
it's
not
the first time
it's
we
not a
rolled.
first date for us. We've already like French kissed a little bit.
We hadn't
Right?
rolled yet. And I was
Doesn't
like, no, we're
matter.
chilling. You
Doesn't
got
matter.
black belt. I'm not going to try to disrespect the black belt. We just first time rolling.
No, I appreciate it, but we'll get down to it.
I went harder with him today though because I knew he knew the deal.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
But my whole point in even bringing that up is it's like, we're fucking homies. I know we haven't been friends a long time, but I consider you one of my best friends just because when you meet people that you vibe with, you got to embrace that, right? That doesn't change the fact that when you beat the fuck out of me that day, that it affected my ego.
Absolutely.
It bothered
As it
me.
should. As
and
it should. That's what
and
makes
to tell
us
you the
better.
truth, that's one of the reasons that I actually posted that video of you smashing my head into the wall. Because it's like, hey, there are black belts that when they have hard times, hide from it. Yeah. And so I'm like, you should never
Don't
hide
be that guy.
from somebody that either has your number or can fucking capitalize on things or can just outperform you.
And I will say, as a coach, it's sometimes hard in the
is.
academy
And
because
bro-
you get it every day, and you're like, fuck.
And I'll tell you,
know?
Mitch, being a fucking good-hearted human being, you put a post out that day too that showed like some back and forth, some position
pictures.
of me on top, all this stuff, right? And I'm like, we had some moments where I got on top. We had some moments where I was
But
able
you knew
to.
what was up.
But both of us understood when we walked out of that fucking dojo how that day went for us. And that's when I was like, his depiction is not accurate.
He's being nice.
But I don't. That's the thing with me
You know what I'm
too.
saying?
Like because I like to train hard, and I like to like fucking. Fighting is like we're in the sport of punching each other in the face. Like that, I train MMA primarily. I don't
Right.
do jujitsu as like my main thing. But and when I train with people, like I want to show that I'm like good and do like if I have a good training session and I beat the fuck out of my training partner, and like we video it and stuff and it's like good content, but
Yeah.
at the same time it's like, man, that's my friend and I'm not trying to embarrass him. And like the thing with MMA is it's it is the most vulnerable sport there is because it is literally just the vessel you're brought into this universe versus someone else.
The other vessel, yeah.
And there's no one else to lean on or hide from or whatever. It's just this is what it is. And fighting is the most primal thing there is.
Fuck
it's like,
yeah.
what happens when the sport where, you don't put the ball through the hoop as many times the other one. Okay, whatever. This is like, but what happens when tempers flare and they come to blows? Like everything ends in like fighting
Yeah.
is the final.
Dude, I always say
the final denominator,
Fuck yeah.
So it's like that is the most vulnerable and exposed your ego is. And like I understand that and like with my training partners and shit, even if I have a bunch of great content of me beating their ass, like I'm like, I don't want to post this, man, because like I don't want them to feel
training
like
partner.
some type of way. So I'll just post pictures of both of us like in a position or whatever. And, it's just purely out of like fucking respect for my friends,
But when we leave that training session, we know how that went, right? And the reason I say that, I think it's important because if you had decided to be fucking a little kinder to me, neither one of us benefits from that. You know what I mean? Like, it is good to I have one of my buddies that uses this statement all the time, to let you know where you aren't, And when you feel, if it's brought to your attention where you are not, that is what motivates you to want to be better.
Yeah. If you have the correct mindset.
Correct. Yeah, for sure.
It could like turn, hurt your ego and you're like, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or I don't want to train with him because he just beats me or whatever. But like I'm the type, like when I first did jujitsu, I got my ass beat, relentlessly. And I just kept, and I didn't have the greatest training partner growing up. My friend Dave, he's like a 6'3", 240-pound fucking savage. I mean, monster of a fucking dude and he was probably a blue belt level or so.
Yeah.
And I was nothing. And we would roll. And he would just constantly just smash me and like arm triangle me or fucking, whatever, just fucked me up all the time. And he's just like, you don't want to do that. Like, don't let me do that to you. And I'm like, fuck, okay. So then just like slap and go again. And it was like, God damn it, I am going to beat you one day.
Yeah. Well,
and that was me. Like, I wanted to keep going against him until I won. And it took me like 100 matches before I got one.
We should thank, you said his name was Dave?
Dave, yeah.
We should thank Dave for you escaping Jake Shields' arm triangle.
Yeah.
Because, bro.
No, I was forged in the fire, bro.
When he had that arm triangle, I was fucking like 10 feet away watching. And I was like, I mean, it's Jake fucking Shields with a full-on arm triangle locked in.
Locked, yeah.
And I was like, fuck. This, I can't imagine that this gets any better for Mitch. And you fought through it and reversed him and escaped, dude.
Took his back.
It's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah.
Fuck you.
But, like, dude, it's like, I don't know, man. I think the ego thing is something that is a battle you will fight the entire time you do this sport. Like, my toughest training partner at my academy is Daniel. You've rolled with Daniel.
He's a savage.
He is a savage. And him and I would say, are probably neck and neck. Like, when we roll, we don't know who's going to win. But because of that, and I'm sure all you guys have these, we'll lock horns, and it'll be the most boring round you've ever watched in your life. And I'll pull half guard, and that's 7 minutes.
Yeah.
He can't pass, I can't sweep. Because neither one of us wants to give an inch. Like, I'm not going to let him pass. He's not going to let me sweep. And we have 7 minutes stuck in one position.
I've had several training partners like that, and that I've had hundreds of matches with, and it's a flip of the coin, every one of them. And it's just every time it's going to be a fucking war, and you look forward to them.
Oh, fuck.
But, bro, I'll tell you what we've been doing lately. For the last probably 4 months, whenever me and Dan slap and bump, one of us will choose a fucking terrible position. Be like, bro, mount me, and then we'll start. Or he'll be like, hey, take my back, and then we'll start.
So I'll tell you this.
That's how the Danaher Death Squad
Yeah, bro. And bro, I heard Gordon Ryan talking about it on Rogan.
They're awesome, man.
And I was like, dude, Gordon Ryan is smashing everybody. And when they say this is how we're doing things, if you're not listening to that as a jiu-jitsu coach and a jiu-jitsu athlete, you're doing yourself a disservice. So I was like, Gordon Ryan said on that podcast, he goes, I get tapped out every single night at practice.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
But they put themselves in
That's
this
exactly
position,
right.
though.
It's like, my ego doesn't want my savage fucking black belt on my back strangling me. But if I want to get better,
you got to do that.
that's what we're doing. So I was like, Dan, take my back. And then if we get a finish, cool. If we don't, like, it just turns into a roll. But then the next round, he'll be like, all right, now put me in side control.
That's how I'm training the people that I'm training now.
Yeah.
We're doing positional stuff.
Bro, that is a big thing,
Positional
man.
sparring specific training is the best thing for jiu-jitsu.
Well, especially as a coach, because most people, your students aren't going to voluntarily do it.
No, you're going to go to your A game.
They're going to
do
start,
exactly what
and
you
someone's going to fight for best. It's like, hey, man, everyone start side control.
Or you'll
Now,
spend
back,
7 minutes locked horns.
Exactly.
So what I've been doing, like my lower belts, I'll start in a bad position. Bad position. What I've been doing with my training partners that, like, even on my A game, we're neck and neck, is whatever I'm trying to work that's brand new, a new passing style or a new sweep or whatever, I fucking go right to that. And if they pass, I try to do everything I can to recover that round and go right back to it. And if they fucking pass again, but guess what? I figure out the technique.
Yeah.
Like I've been diving down a Tain and Dalpra wormhole, and he does his pant grip, sit up, sweep, and his passing's insane. That's all I've been trying to do for like the last 2 weeks. And the first week didn't work for shit. This week it worked a little bit, and now end of the week I started working on some of my higher level belts, and with one of my brown belts and stuff, and like that's to me like, because like I'll go to my A game and we'll just sit there. I'll sit and I'm in half guard. I'll sit there in half guard with my head tucked deep, my underhook, and they're gonna sit there and try and smash me flat, and we sit there and like, who's getting better at that,
Bro? And that's another ego thing, right? Because Zach talked about it today. He said he was talking about trying to implement the technique of the day.
Yeah.
Right? Because we all have our A games. And if I have some dominant bottom positions, some dominant topside positions. And if I always go to those, I'll probably win with most of the guys at my academy. Right? But how much are you growing?
Right.
Right. And so,
You're just stroking your ego.
Right.
or I can try this new technique and it probably won't work for me as well. But you try it once and it doesn't work for you. You try it twice, it doesn't work for you. And then on the 100th try, now you have a new tool in your toolkit.
Oh, I definitely have done that for, long time where I'll either, when I roll with like lower belts and stuff, like I'll pick where I'm only going to do this.
Yes.
Like, I don't care what submission is available to me. I'm only going for triangles.
Yeah.
Or I'm only doing, whatever it is. But yeah. And like you said, like you can use the ego. The ego can be a good thing to driving force to do better and stuff, or, bad where it can get you hurt and this and that. Like, and that's what I was talking about with, I tell the people that I'm training, especially that are just beginning, if they're on like their third lesson, because when you know nothing and you're even in your third lesson, it's like wide, like eye opening, especially like never doing jiu-jitsu and rolling with someone who's good at jiu-jitsu, very, very eye opening. And, when you learn a little bit, like after 3 lessons and you're like, okay, some of this stuff is starting to click. And then, I ask them, like, do you think that to day 3 you could beat the shit out of day 0 you? And they're like, oh, fuck yeah. And I'm like,
fuck yeah.
That's a good feeling, isn't it? Now imagine 6 months you versus day 0 or, day 3 you.
Yeah.
And that's like something they're like, yeah, and it's like you can acquire this superpower. And it is a superpower.
It is and that's why it's so fucking addicting too, man. It's so fucking addicting, bro. Like, that's why I tell, like, I've got some like 1 year, 1.5 year white belts now. They're like, man, this is the greatest thing ever. It's changed my life. Like, it's so amazing. I'm like, dude, just wait. You haven't even fucking started to turn the tap on yet, bro. Like, wait until you start fucking mainlining that shit, like, because it gets better and better.
Dude, and like, I've told people, like, jiu-jitsu, like, who've asked me about things for MMA, right? Because with MMA, you need to learn more than, you have to learn everything, especially in today's age to be competitive. And I'm like, I always tell people, start jiu-jitsu as fast as possible because it is absolutely the one that takes the longest to get good at. And I'm like, you can take 6 months of boxing and show up every day in 6 months of boxing and be pretty fucking decent at boxing. You know what I mean? Like, not world class, but you're going to be pretty good.
Well, I think
Muay Thai, same thing. Jiu-jitsu, 6 months, you fucking suck still.
You suck.
Like I literally could not do jiu-jitsu for 5 years. Literally, not even step on a mat for 5 years. Walk in and fuck up every single person who's a white belt and who's been doing jiu-jitsu for 6 months.
For sure. Well, I think one of the things too is we always harp on, hey, how good it is for you, the capability behind it, right? But to your point, it's so fucking fun. We were walking around with our shirts off, the sun's out, like, dude, we just trained and did a seminar, rolled a bunch of rounds, and the endorphins are flowing. Best day ever, right? It's super fun, and I feel like that after every training session, right? It's just fun, right? And how do you communicate that properly to people who, that first 6 months, like you said, you're just getting your fucking ass whooped all the time?
Yeah, the first 6 months are not the funnest.
No, not at all.
And that's I always tell every single time a new person comes to my academy and inquires about becoming a member or starting training, I tell them all, if you want to try jiu-jitsu, you want to give it a legitimate try, tell yourself that you are committing to 90 days at a minimum of 2 or 3 days a week. 2 days a week is kind of bullshit. 3 days a week, I think, is the magic number.
It starts to get crazy fun once you start tapping people.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that new cycle of people come in and you start fucking up.
So I got a story, right?
When you're a 4-stripe white belt and you see that new white belt walk through the door and you're just fresh fish.
So, bro, in my academy, I kind of have an open door policy with the surrounding gyms. If their schedule doesn't match up, or if they don't have like an open mat on a holiday or whatever, come train with us, right? And not only because I like training with new training partners and I like getting just different skill sets in the gym, But unlike the Brazilian approach where it's like, man, no, fuck them. Man.
Yeah,
Fuck
criança,
yeah,
man,
they're
criança.
criança. Fuck those guys. Like, I think it's cool if Cascade Jiu-Jitsu, which is 10 minutes away from me, if that coach and I have a good relationship and his members and my members get some cross training and everybody gets along because it's the jiu-jitsu community,
It
right?
makes everybody better.
And so
You're still gonna go hard as you fucking can in a tournament against those guys.
exactly. And that's what I say. It's like, hey, we'll cross train with them today. And if you guys have to slap and bump at a tournament, fucking kill them,
Especially
right?
because the few times you may actually go cross train once
Yeah.
a month, once every 3
Exactly.
months. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm getting to know their game.
Right.
So
So
we-
it's like fucking holidays.
So we had a group of guys from another academy come and train. I think it was on our Thanksgiving session because I'll do holiday sessions, right? And one of my white belts, he is a fucking savant. Like, he is downloading jiu-jitsu at an exponential level. He's just one of those guys, right? And everybody has their journey. Some people are slow, some people are fast.
I think nerds are great at jujitsu.
Yeah,
because
nerd
it's a
brain
very,
gets
it's
it,
a very
right?
like thinking game and
Super
it's-
cerebral, man.
And it,
But-
you know, yeah, go ahead.
He caught a blue belt from the neighboring academy.
Yeah.
And so, like, hey, training's done. Everybody was cool. It was a super fun session. I've already locked the door. I'm getting in my 4Runner and I'm ready to drive home. And he's like, hey, Greg, I want to talk to you for a second. I'm
The
like,
blue belt or the white belt?
no, my white belt.
Okay.
His name's Jake. And he goes, hey, today was the first day I've ever tapped a blue belt. And I was like, really? I said, what happened? And it made me happy because the visiting blue belts, I rolled with both of them and they were fucking good.
Yeah.
They were tough rolls, right? Tough kids. And he goes, man, like I locked horns with this guy and then I went to do this and then he turned and he did that. And he like gave me the whole play-by-play and he goes, and I caught a submission. And it's my first time ever submitting a blue belt. And you could just see the fucking like energy beaming out of him. And he had that moment where, bro, his first time ever tapping a blue belt in jiu-jitsu,
That's a good feeling. It's a real good
it's
feeling.
shifted. Because just like you said, your first however many months, you're just getting the shit beat out of you. And as soon as you can now start to find success,
Be the hammer.
and be the hammer, bro, that's empowering to people. Because I mean, there's a million reasons we
Shows
do jiu-jitsu.
progression.
Yeah, and I tell
And it
people all
doesn't
the
lie.
time,
And it hits
that-
our primal
Yes.
needs. We're hunter-gatherers.
and I tell my students all the time, the most that you will grow and the what you will gain from the mats has nothing to do with fighting. But make no mistake, we're here to become better fucking fighters too, right?
You know what's funny? The inverse of that is, other than Mitch getting tapped by a lower belt, it is like, oh fuck, it's a kick in the ass, right? Like, so there's
Wait,
been
when did
times
Mitch get tapped by a
Yeah,
lower
what are you
belt?
talking about?
I'm confused.
Yeah, me too.
him smashing you.
No, that was me getting smashed by a lower belt. Because
That's what
I'm
I'm
the
saying.
black belt, he's the brown belt.
I'm saying I don't think lower belts tap Mitch. I'm not saying a blue
yeah.
or purple belt or white belt are tapping Mitch. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah. So other than Mitch,
Definitely
right?
not.
It's happened to me, right?
That's
Lower
clear
belts.
now.
Lower belts, they tap you, and it's rare, far few in between, but it happens. You're like, oh shit, is it that person closing the gap a bunch? Did they get lucky? You kind of start playing that process in your head. Oh shit, do I need to kick things in out here? Start training more? You know what's going on? Yeah. So
Bro, I tell people this all the time, is that I dabbled in jiu-jitsu when I was in the Ranger Regiment, which was back in 1999, right? But I didn't jump 100% all in with jiu-jitsu until 2004. But in 2004, a brown belt would smash a blue belt. 99 out of 100 times. Like, that guy's a brown belt, he's going to smash that blue belt. A black belt will smash a purple belt. I feel like the belts were very established, and the person that's been training longer is going to beat the person that's been training a shorter amount of time. But there's so many variables now, because you got these kids that are a purple belt that trains 6 days a week, that is like, jiu-jitsu's his life, and when he's not at the gym, he's studying YouTube and he has all the books. And it's like,
I think that's a huge difference, is like YouTube and
Yeah.
everything. And,
Dude, there wasn't YouTube.
There are some people that can learn just by watching a video, and fucking they're like, okay, I understand that, and they can implement it right away. Like I've had training partners that literally you could watch videos and then just did it just like the video.
And so like
I can't do that. I'm a hands-on. I have to do it over and over. And
so those people are visual learners and you're a kinesthetic learner. That's a real thing, you know? But like when I slap and bump with a purple belt now, it's like,
you don't know what's coming.
am I going to take this guy's soul or am I in for the fight of my life? You don't fucking know anymore.
No idea.
You know? Like the 20-year-old kid that wins purple belt worlds, have fun with him.
Well, it's also too, he's been training since he was 12.
Well, that's the thing.
Right?
You,
So
yeah,
like, he
you
had
said
8
it.
years and all his free time when we're working and you guys have families and stuff was dedicated to jiu-jitsu.
You said it, kids, right? When you and I first started jiu-jitsu, because I started just a little whiles after you and took a long break, but people who started jiu-jitsu, trained jiu-jitsu were adults.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Now you got all these gyms that really focus on kids programs. And like my son Jackson, he's 10 years old. He's already been training jiu-jitsu for 5 years. Let's get a quick selfie.
Selfie complete. Continue.
So, you know,
1 in 10.
Jackson is 10 years old. He's been training jiu-jitsu for 5 years already. If you're an adult training for 5 years, well, you're a purple belt pretty much.
Dude, how badly do you wish that you would have started training jiu-jitsu at 5 years old?
Holy fuck, dude. And that's what I try to explain to my kids. Like, they don't know how lucky they've got it. You know, my little girl,
Like
7 years
you
old.
will
Like,
thank me.
yeah,
Trust me.
that's right. You know, and, you know, Gemma, she's 7. She's been training for 2 years at 7 years old. And you know what? She will never, ever fucking have a boy do anything to her that she doesn't want him to do to her. Because she will fucking choke the life out of him or break fucking a limb.
Bro,
you know, because by the time she's 16 years old, she'll have been training for 11 fucking years at 16.
Yeah.
I always tell people this because inevitably 100% of people that do jiu-jitsu at some point will tell you, man, I wish I found this when I was younger.
Every single
right?
person.
Every single person, right?
Yeah.
And so
I would say anyone who's like a blue belt or higher because they're gonna more than likely stick around.
so
Yeah,
when
they have the reference.
when Marcus Buchecha was my coach, I remember we were sitting at the gym after practice one day and it's like, Coach, when did you start? You know? And he's like, at 12. And he goes, man, I wish I started when I was younger. And so I always tell that to people. I was like, the 13-time world champion, the most accomplished IBJJF black belt in history, also wishes he started when he was younger. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if you're fucking me or if you're the best of all time. Once you understand how powerful jiu-jitsu is and how it changes your life, you wish you started when you were younger.
Always.
But guess what? You fucking started.
When you started.
So it's all good.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. Carpe fucking diem, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, I was 21 when I started, and I was the youngest one at my gym because we're in kind of the downtown area of Seattle. I've been Salivera May, and most people are in their mid 20s, mid 30s, you know what I mean? Professionals in the working industry. So I'm trained with people all older than me, and I was always the young kid. And even then at that time, same thing. Could I have started sooner? Dude, I had like 40-year-old guys teach me what the fucking arm drag was, right? I'm 21 years old. And just, that process of learning, dude, it's always like, fuck, if I was 12. Dude, it was cool. I was talking with Jackson. I had a moment earlier like, hey, dude, what's up? Like, what's your favorite move? Well, it depends. IBJJF, like he's speaking jiu-jitsu. IBJJF, it's Ezekiel.
I heard him say
I was
that.
like, wait, what?
I
I
did too.
said, okay, so what's your favorite?
It's cross-collar choke for IBJJF because he can't do
That's what-
Ezekiel's.
that's what it was. He said cross-collar choke.
I don't even know that shit.
Dude, and I was like, wait, so what's your favorite submission in the gym? He's like, oh, Ezekiel for sure. And if not, I take the back and cross-collar choke. Or RNC. I was like, oh shit, this kid's a savage.
At what? What is he, 10?
He's 10 years old. Yeah, he just turned
that was
10
awesome.
too. He turned 10 2 months ago.
Yeah, so you can listen to us talking shit about jiu-jitsu all night as full-grown adults, but if your kids aren't in jiu-jitsu, that's a real disservice. Like, for the first time since my gym's been open, we have a kids program that I'm extremely proud of, and I see all of these.
Do not waste your money sending kids to fucking karate.
No, yeah, exactly, dude. Like, I see these kids growing leaps and bounds. And here's the crazy part, and I know you'll agree with me 100%. When you have 25, 30 kids that are in your whatever age bracket program, if one kid goes on a family vacation that takes them off the mats for 3 weeks, and all the other kids are there, when he gets back, he sucks.
Yeah, leaps and bounds.
Like you see the other kids, and dude, my students train, my older kids train 3 days a week, right? So that means 2-3 weeks. That's anywhere from 6 to 9 more sessions. Bro, when you're 9, 10, 12 years old and I get 12 sessions or 9 sessions over you, they're smashing.
Bro.
It's dramatic, dude.
So I've got a few kids whose parents train as well. So when adults classes after kids class, so they hang out. The kids hang out here. They sit on the benches and the bleachers, and there's a couple select kids that are allowed to come out if the mat's not packed and come train with Jackson and during the adults class. But they sit and watch, and I'm watching Jackson and a couple of these other kids doing shit that I never ever fucking taught them in class, but that I do. Like that's part of my game.
They're watching
and they
you.
do it. I'm like, where'd you learn that? I literally asked one of them. I'm like, where'd you learn that? Coach, I saw you doing it, but I didn't show that to you. And they're fucking doing it, bro. It is crazy. And like, you know, like they just they're little fucking sponges for it. It's rad.
Bro, the kids grow at a rate that you can't even wrap your fucking head around.
Didn't your daughter just recently like win a tournament and she was crushing it?
She didn't win it, but she podiumed. And bro, it was her first tournament ever. And dude, here's a cool thing about like, cause I got 3 daughters and my daughters weren't that into jiu-jitsu for a long time. And it was actually like, I talked to Joao about it. He's like, bro, 1 in 3 girls sexually assaulted before 21 years old. Your duty, teach them how to defend themselves.
You got 3 girls, bro.
And so it's like,
You know?
okay, I got 3. So statistically, they better learn how to fucking fight.
Fuck yeah.
And so 2 of my girls are 100% all in. They have been for a year. My middle daughter, I'm having a harder time getting her to buy off on it. But that's life, right?
Yep.
But so my oldest daughter goes to her first tournament, probably, it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And dude, you never know how people are going to compete. We talked about this over dinner. It's like sometimes you're a monster in the gym and then you fucking just crumble under the pressure. Then there's other people that are just kind of mediocre in the gym. And when they compete, a monster comes out. And so I had no idea what I was going to get with her. And bro, she slapped and bumped and she got a fire in her eyes and she fucking mauled like her first 2 or 3 opponents. And then the next, you know how it is.
Because of her age, she's going against boys, right?
She's going against boys and girls. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but as the bracket progresses, you're going against the better people in the bracket. Right. And she ended up losing her last 2 fights. So it wasn't single elimination. I don't actually know. Fuji.
Like round robin.
Yeah. Fuji was the company that put the tournament on. And even after coaching every single round, and I don't know exactly how the brackets were broken down, but bro, when I watched her get that like fire in her eyes, I told her when she came home, I was like, whatever you have, I said, that's something that I don't even know. I don't even think I have.
Yeah.
I wish I had. A lot of my friends have it. And when they slap and bump, they turn into a murderer. And I was like, the second that you slapped and bumped, you were fearless, you were aggressive, and you were playing your game, and she was snapping them down and stuff. And I was like, bro, as a parent, that's like one of your proudest fucking moments.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Because at that moment, when someone was trying to beat her, she brought everything to them. And that's exactly what we're trying to teach our children, you know? And it's exactly what you said. You think some fucking drunk faggot in some sorority is going to put his hands all over her? Good luck, dude.
Yeah, good fucking luck, bro.
You know?
So Jackson, for his birthday, I bought him some little boxing gloves and some little MMA gloves. And what we've been doing, like the mornings I can get home and hang out with them waiting for the bus. The bus comes and picks them up in front of our house. We spend that time, which is, you know, like we wait out there like 10 minutes because there's like a 10-minute window. We spend that time hitting mitts. So I go out there in the front yard and he puts his little gloves on. We hit mitts, pop, 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 you know, and I'm, you know, teaching him combos and teaching him striking right now. And the bus pulls up and he pulls his gloves off real quick and goes, well, I do the same thing with Gemma. Because her bus is like 20 minutes later than Jackson's. So we stand out there for like 15 minutes. And I got her throwing combos on mitts and teaching her to throw punches and combos and slip and stuff. And then the bus pulls up with all the other little first graders and I take the gloves off Gemma and she goes like, no one's going to do anything to her. She is going to fucking knock their head off, you know, or choke them to death.
Bro, I tell people this all the time. And learning how to fight, and I took a few MMA fights, and I trained a lot of MMA leading up to those. But learning how to fight, and I don't care if you're a 7-year-old girl like Gemma or if you're a 41-year-old man like me, will serve you in ways that you're not even aware of. Your boss, like my bosses, I've worked for bosses that would chip at other people in a way that they don't chip with me with.
Yeah.
You know, they don't fucking disrespect you, because human beings know on a primal level, if it goes back to this, well, I'm fucked, right? And so on a professional level, when you know how to fight and the people around you understand that, they treat you differently.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's an important thing as a man to be able to carry that through your life, you know?
And kind of going back to like what Mitch was saying, is that like MMA fighting, combat sport, like real combat sport, is like the most vulnerable you'll ever be. Because if you get a loss on the basketball court, well, we weren't designed as men primally. We weren't designed to throw a fucking ball through a hoop. We were designed to go out and fucking hunt and gather and fight and defend the tribe or the village, and then go home and fuck the women
And split your head with an axe.
and procreate, right? So when you lose in a fight against another fucking man, it is not just a loss, it's actually like a hit to your primal, like, I would be fucking dead right now. I'm the dude that went out of the tribe to go defend, and I'd be fucking dead.
my women right
And
now.
they are, no bullshit. You know,
Potty
that's
break.
where it comes from.
Potty break
fucking
for me.
happening.
No, fuck no.
Hold
you know,
it
that's
down
where
while I
it's
take a
coming.
potty break.
Yeah. So yeah, well, you know, it's funny. We've been talking about jiu-jitsu. We haven't hit any of the show notes. Should we move down? Should we say this is the Greg and Mitch show with Victor?
Sure.
Now this is the cool Greg
I'm
and Mitch
nervous
show
what's
with
on that
Victor.
list. We were driving around earlier, and every 20 seconds, oh, I'm adding this to the list and that. Yeah. that's
Oh,
gonna be-
next one on the list
The
is
Greg and Mitch show.
Yeah.
The Greg and Mitch show with Victor.
the next thing on the list is race cars, because we were talking about
Race cars.
We were talking about driving schools and like
and how bad Anderson's fucking driving was earlier.
Yeah, I wasn't in the car, so I don't know. But trail brake oversteer, trail throttle oversteer, and you know,
I don't think that's like
is that
podcast worthy.
That's not
talk.
a podcast
It's just-
topic.
It was
Yeah.
like a fucking topic we just broached.
Yeah, come on, Greg. Why are you fucking putting that down in the show notes?
Greg's a faggot.
What's that? But yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, like raising my kids to be able to defend themselves, like when they're in their 20s, like, are they going to be upset that I made them brush their teeth every night because they've got nice teeth?
Well, you know what would be interesting
You
about
know,
that,
like-
right? Is because
Same thing with fighting. Like, they'll be able to fucking fight.
Your
I
kids
think
are.
I think what we could bring up though, not the race car thing, but something that you did bring up that I had never really considered or whatever was the seatbelt rule versus the helmet
yeah.
rule. And you know, I thought that was a pretty good point. You brought up a good point with the, and like this is something that I think our society needs to do, is when you have your mind made up about something, but then someone presents you with you know, something that challenges that your decision or your stance on something, and they're able to articulate their argument or their points or whatever, you should listen. And then if it's like, check your ego, like listen to it. If it makes sense and it makes more sense, be willing to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
You're right. And that makes sense. And then change your stance on it.
Yeah, you
change
can
your view on
adjust
it.
your own opinion.
Wait,
Yeah,
so Lapin,
and
what
that's
was that
happened to
thing?
me with PTSD, and a female fucking changed my stance on that. You know, with her argument or whatever, and then Lapin has done it twice this trip, with free trials to his gym,
fuck yeah.
and then the other one was the seatbelts, and I was like, okay.
What? Lapin
And
going to
dude,
the
it's, all,
seatbelt.
I'm
it's
honored,
cool.
man.
It's cool to
fucking
hang
humbled.
out with people that challenge your thinking, right? Like, there's nothing you're not going to become a better person by being the toughest man in the room, the smartest man in the room, or having the best perspectives in the room. Like hanging out with people that make you think, I never thought of that.
Hang on, for those listening, they're curious about the seatbelt
and
now.
I think,
You gotta give it to them.
I think most people, when they like think of me or look at me on like the surface level with like the Mitch show and else, and I'm like, fuck you, fuck off, blah, blah, like that I wouldn't be that way, but I definitely am.
Well, it happened to me too. I rode motorcycles for 10 years. And when he told me, I was like, oh shit, I haven't thought about it like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll definitely talk about that.
Unpack the seatbelt.
We will.
Okay.
But I want to broach this real quick.
Because this is the more important rule of being able to be open-minded and change.
Well, this is something that I've actually had as an idea, and I haven't told anybody about it or whatever, but I think this is a huge problem with our culture right now, and we're super tribal, and I'm guilty of it too, because I'm at my rope's end with these fucking liberals and Democrats and shit like that, like just because they're so fucking retarded, in my opinion. But like, I'm willing to hear their argument and like what their thought process is and why they came to this conclusion, because we're in alternate fucking realities at this point, you know? And I thought it would be a cool YouTube show or something to make where it's called open-minded debates, where like, you know, someone who feels real strongly on one side and someone who feels real strongly on the other side, and they like, you know, you come and you basically agree to have a like friendly, open-minded debate, and you're willing to like so it's like uninterrupted. You get 10 minutes to like present, you know, you pick like controversial topics or whatever. And then like you present your case and like why you feel this way. The other person can like listen, take notes or whatever, and then like address and like ask questions of, you know, like at the end of like 10 minutes, like, okay, you said this, like, what about this or whatever. And basically give you a chance to like, air your side out and then like switch and then like, you know, and then you can present your case or whatever. And then at the end, like say, is there anything that you like, they presented that you know, were able, or that you found like was a better view in your point and you've like changed your view on it?
Well, it's almost like you're talking about bringing back bringing out a platform that'll bring nuance back. Right, because that's totally gone nowadays in every conversation. You're far left, far right.
Well, because we're in echo chambers at this point. Like, you know, we're just in meme wars and echo chambers, and the meme wars are just to piss off the other side. But the other side's not even seeing them.
Yeah,
right. You know, we're the ones seeing our own memes.
Like, you're sharing all the memes with people that feel the same way, you know, and they have their memes, which, you know, and they're all feeling the same way. But like, this is something that like would be on a, you know, like a hour-long show or whatever, and then it's like, you know, we can have multiple people come and do this and have multiple perspectives on things. But like, you know, I think it would be cool for people watching too, and maybe they'll learn something. But, you know, with that title of like open-minded debates, it's like, you're not going to watch that if you're not open-minded. You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
And it might change a lot of people's views on things one way or the other, but I'm pretty sure it'll go one way.
Bro, we should make that happen. Let's make that happen.
I think we should.
Bro, you have the Violent Hippie podcast. I have this podcast.
Well, you're battling at that point, though, is because that's its own echo chamber in a sense, because you said people who are open-minded are going to be the ones that see it. But the people we need to affect are the ones who are not.
But that's the other thing, too, is like, people feel very strongly about things, and maybe they watch the show and they're like, fuck, he did a terrible job of articulating it. I could do a better job of articulating our argument or whatever. Gotcha. So it's like, we want the best people from the both sides presenting it so that we can see like where the other side is coming from, to where it's like not like a fuck you, you fucking idiot. Like, cause I get that way. Yeah. You know, I do, and you know, it's hard not to sometimes, but like, I realize that that's not super productive.
Mm-hmm. So you couldn't be the moderator, is what you're saying.
I think you have to have people who understand the concept and like are going into this with like, you know what I mean? Like
they're going
like Russell Brand and Ben Shapiro had like this long debate, and it was like a friendly, you know, like respectful kind of thing, you know. And I think that's just something that if people agreed to like come on there, like, you know, no no derogatory stuff, no insulting, like just present your stuff, ask your questions, and you can either agree to disagree, whatever. And then at the end, it's like, was there anything that you learned or and you can like present like facts, like this is proven to be true because of this or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it would have to be like an hour-long show.
Well, I think a lot of people are less likely to be derogatory or aggressive if you're sitting across
face
from
to
each
face.
other at a table.
Yeah.
And it's not because it might turn to blows. Like, okay, that's a possibility, right? But I think it's just when I have to look at you in your eyes from 5 feet away and we have to understand, dude, we're occupying the same space and we're discussing a topic, the chances of me looking at someone and saying, you're a fucking faggot.
Well, typing dumb shit.
Right.
Versus typing it.
Going internet to in person
I
is
shouldn't
what's
say me
important,
because
right?
I don't type shit on the internet. That's a rule I made. But for most people, face to face is going to have a lot different energy than what we see on the internet. And bro, I think it's a fucking phenomenal idea.
And I think it would be cool too, whereas like, you get like 10 minutes to like look up information or 30 minutes, whatever. We can edit out the research part of it where you get like 30 minutes to research your responses and like back it up with sources and like show like, this is how I came to my conclusion from this source, and then it's like, if that's bullshit or something, like you can
bring up your
source that proves and shows like irrefutably that was, fake news or something like that. You know what I mean? But I think it would be cool if people agreed to do that in a friendly way. You know what I mean? And like, it's just like this is what my views are. That's what your views are. And that's okay. And if we agree, cool. If we learn something from each other, cool. If we disagree, cool. There's nothing that's been no harm, no foul.
We agree to disagree.
Did you hear Rogan do that with the Game Changers documentary?
No.
So he had, I forget the guy's name that made the Game Changers documentary. He was an MMA fighter.
I'm not familiar.
It's about going vegan, right? And that
Nate Diaz?
No. Someone that could articulate things very well.
I know the Game Changers documentary.
And so it's like, I forget their names, but Rogan had the guy that made that documentary. And then
like a carnivore guy?
Yeah, and they discussed why it's good, why it's bad, why I think you're wrong, why I think I'm right.
I think Joe Rogan has the perfect platform to do it, and I think he is a good, mediator. And I wish that like I was watching like our presidential debates with Donald Trump and fucking Joe Biden, and it's just like these two fucking retards are screaming at each other, and it's just like, that's not true, that's a lie, blah blah blah, and it's like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. All right. This is who you get to pick for the most important job in the world,
bro.
And it's like
when I watch that.
What?
Yeah. When I watch that,
I wouldn't allow someone to work at Massive if that was the interview.
Yeah, you're right. No, I watched that and I was like, how come the two human beings that are fucking in position to take over leader of the free world need some corporate media douchebag to be like, I would like to know your thoughts on this. 2 minutes, go. Like
2 minutes.
Bro, why can't those two men sit down and just have a back and forth? I mean, first of all, we don't need a mediator. We're the two human beings that are running for president. We should know what issues are important. We don't need a third party to bring up, what's your thoughts on this? Like, we can handle what our thoughts on this are because I'm running for president. And I should be able to articulate to you. You should be able to articulate to me. And we should be able to have a full discussion one-on-one. And if it goes an hour or if it goes 4 hours,
they're
so
allowed to fucking lie.
Oh, bro, I know.
Blatantly.
I know.
They're allowed to lie, and there's no consequences.
All right, this
that's why you need
should be
Rogan
one
and Jamie
caveat
as the
then.
moderator.
If you're in a presidential election or governor's election,
and if you lie, you're done.
It's no. It's not just done.
Execution.
You get marched to the gallows. Right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you just lied. We fact checked it with real fact checkers, not Facebook fact checkers.
They're journalists,
and to the fucking gallows, dude. Because, bro, this is a true thing. I was watching the fucking governor's debate with Jay Inslee and Lauren Culp for Washington State, and Lauren Culp brought up Chaz and Chop, the fucking Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone that every single person in America saw.
And internationally.
Yeah, and
bro.
Governor Inslee goes, oh, you know what? I'm just not familiar with that. What? Whoa, wait.
Or Donald
What?
Trump saying he wasn't familiar with Q and like the QAnon stuff.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up. Yes, you are. And I don't care. Like, I'm not on anyone's team or this and that. And I voted for
honest.
Trump.
Yeah.
But like, don't lie because that makes you look worse. You know that you look like them now. You're giving them ammo. You're
Yes,
giving
100%.
them fuel, like for the fire. You know.
And while we're on the politician page, I would just really like to thank the mayor of Mandeville and the police chief of Mandeville Police Department for coming out to the event today to support raising funds for police officers in their jurisdiction in their neighborhood.
Yeah, you mean the people that you told about the event and then we didn't see them?
They didn't show up because they had more important shit to do on a
course,
fucking
of
Saturday.
course
evening.
More of their officers were here than probably out on patrol that
So
day.
anyway, I hope you guys watch the podcast.
Was it an important day for you as well?
Yeah, it was important, but I don't give a fuck about myself. I give a fuck about the community. And they could have come out and supported it.
Greg got his black belt today.
Yeah, I got my black belt today, by the way, too.
The waiters don't know.
So anyway, that was my idea that I've had for a while.
I like it.
and I haven't brought it up yet, but there.
Wait, can we go
So
back
it's
to
out there.
the seatbelt analogy now? Can you?
So sorry for going off that little tangent
No,
there.
that was really the important
No,
lesson,
it
right?
was being open-minded for sure. But the
that
specifics
was
people
the
listening,
whole-
I'd be like,
that
wait,
was the
what?
whole
Where'd
thing
it come from?
of like being open-minded and, you know, not letting your ego get you fucking your feet dug into this idea or whatever. And if someone is able to articulate a better argument or whatever, then be humble enough to change your stance and view on it. And that happened to me twice today with Greg. So go ahead and...
All right, so we saw a guy, this is a few weeks back or a couple months ago, we saw a guy riding a motorcycle without a helmet. I can't remember who I was with, but they were like, man, that's stupid. They should have to wear a helmet. There should be a helmet law. I was like, why? I said, one, I agree, it's fucking stupid. I rode motorcycles, I wore a helmet. But why should there be a law forcing that man, who's a grown-ass man, to wear a helmet? Tell me how a law of him wearing a helmet helps public safety. If he fucking gets T-boned by a car, crashes, and smashes his head on the concrete and dies, that's his own deal, right? How does that affect the soccer mom in the fucking car?
Right.
It doesn't. And it was kind of, there was a correlation brought up. Well, what do you think about seatbelts? Like, what do you think people should, the seatbelt law? I said, seatbelts are different.
Right.
I do think that drivers and occupants there should be a law to have them restrained inside the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, how is that any different? Well, the difference is that if I'm not restrained inside the vehicle and I have to do an evasive maneuver in the vehicle, whether it's swerve to avoid a dog in the road, swerve to avoid debris, and I get through the G-forces, get slammed across to the passenger compartment, then I'm no longer under control of the vehicle. I veer off the road and I slam into that soccer mom. So the restraint device, the seatbelt, keeps me in control of the vehicle if I have to do an evasive maneuver, right?
Cheers, fellas. Salud.
Sochi. And then same for the passengers. If I have to do an evasive maneuver and I swerve hard to the left and hit the brakes and swerve back right, and fucking 210-pound Greg Anderson comes slamming into me in the driver's compartment.
205.
205-pound getting six-pack.
Yeah,
Greg
I'm getting
Anderson.
less fat every day.
That takes me out of control of the vehicle to perform that evasive maneuver. And I said, the seatbelt isn't about saving the occupants in the car. It's about keeping them in their domain in the vehicle to maintain control of the vehicle so that the vehicle doesn't become a weapon.
For sure.
Well, I like
that a
what
lot.
you said. I also think you're the only human being on planet Earth that looks at that situation in that manner.
It's because I'm smart.
He's a black belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm a black belt.
You've also seen a lot of fucking car crashes,
you see
right?
those dash cam footage where someone gets hit and now they're in the back of the car and they're upside down.
Holy shit.
Right.
You know, and Lapin's like, you can't command your vehicle from that position. That's his initial response,
we have
right?
also been through many driving courses.
We have been.
And, pushed like done different maneuvers and things and pushed these vehicles
wait.
and
Are we
situations.
going to talk about race car
No,
driving?
hang on. Not yet.
We
Because,
skipped over race car driving.
I think honestly, one thing that's super important about that is like it's not the tactics of that potential situation, why it may change someone's mind. It's like, why does the thought of, oh,
We've seen it though.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, it's more the concept of courtesy, right? You talked about, hey, caring about the public
safety.
public safety, right? And that's
And
a
masks
courteous
don't
thing
do
to
a
do.
goddamn thing
Masks
for
don't
that.
do shit. And that's why I don't think there should be speeding laws either.
Right, but
I
I don't
paid
think
our
there should
be speed
waitress.
limits.
I paid our waitress $100. Greg also
I matched
matched me, so we tipped her $200 total to take her fucking mask off.
It was great.
For her shift.
And we made
And
her night.
we said though, are you wearing this mask by choice? Or you know, do
because
you
you're being
want
told
to
to.
wear it, or because like you have to wear it or whatever? And she was like, "We have to wear it," and I was like, "Okay, Roger that." But then she walked away, and another waitress walked by and wasn't wearing a mask. And I was like,
she was
her
cute.
shit.
and I was like, now we have a serious problem.
You were nice, Mitch, at first, and then very
Were you
stern
lying
Mitch.
to us?
Are you
Were you
And
lying?
she came
She
back
got
and brought her
scared.
appetizers and was like, "Would you like a what?" I said, "I would like to know if you were lying to me or not." and she wasn't. She was kind of unsure or whatever. What am I allowed to? Am I not? Or whatever. She just didn't want to be confrontational, which a lot of fucking people are like that in America, which is also why we're in this fucking situation we're in. But you know, so we encouraged her. I
Put a
was like,
mask on your face.
Take
Fortune
your
favors the
if
bold
you,
tonight.
Do you want to wear your mask? Yes or no? Don't lie to me. And she's like, "No, I hate these masks." And I said, "Then fucking take it off."
Oh, well,
And-
well,
what if I get in trouble? If your manager says anything to you, tell me who the fuck he is, and I will stand up in this restaurant and go smack the shit out of him. And she was like, "Oh, I don't know." And I was like, "Listen, I'm gonna tip you $100 if you take your mask off." And then Greg was like, "I'll fucking match it. I'll double it." And she was like, "Are you guys serious?" And we're fucking
Dead
serious.
fucking serious.
Dead serious. And she was like, "Rip that bitch off," and kept it off the rest
she
of the
had a
night.
great night.
Great night.
And
Great
she
waitress.
got a $200 tip.
That's right.
You
And I
know?
said, "Fortune favors the bold."
Yeah.
That's right. Fuck, it does.
Dude, it was
Fucking
fucking
nice.
awesome.
True statement.
Great night.
I know we already touched on this a little bit, but I didn't go on my full rant
Uh-oh.
about first responders, right? We talked about first responders.
The fat ones.
We talked about them learning jiu-jitsu because we can set expectations on them, and we need to be able to we need to be able to believe that whoever is showing up is going to be capable, right?
Yeah.
But like we talked about on the car ride here, if you're fucking fat and you're a firefighter,
Quit.
quit. If you're 50 pounds overweight and you're a cop,
Quit.
quit.
Go be a
Fuck
fucking.
that
Go
guy.
sell
But
fucking
don't
cars.
quit. Get on the smashing greens.
Yeah,
No, but
smashing green.
this is what I think.
and
This is
jiu-jitsu.
But if
why
you
I
won't get on
think about
Smashing
it.
Greens, quit.
Bro, when we were in the military, you had to pass your APFT. This was the score, and if you didn't pass it, the unit that I was in, you're kicked out.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing with the unit you were in. And why is that? That is because the taxpayers that are expecting their Rangers and their SEALs and their whatever the level of soldier that you are, this is what we expect you to be able to do. And if you can't do it, you shouldn't be in that position.
100%.
How is that any different as a police officer?
It's
Because
no
this is
different.
what I think about. I'm in New Orleans right now with my friends drinking some whiskey and talking shit. But what if someone kicks in my door outside of Seattle right now? My wife and my 3 daughters are there.
Yep.
Okay. I should be able to believe that whatever men or women show up to my house to defend my family are going to fucking save them.
Right.
Right? But unfortunately,
That's not the case.
I know damn well that whoever shows up is very unlikely to be able to save them. And so if you can't fucking give the public let them have the expectation that you are going to be able to protect their family and serve them and do what needs to be done, if you can't give them that expectation, you shouldn't be a fucking police officer. And unfortunately, we used to be able to have physical fitness standards, but because of all the political bullshit, there are none anymore, at least in Washington.
And there still can be, but
Let me
a
ask
lot
you
of
this.
departments have done away with
Here
it.
in Louisiana, the department that you're under,
Yeah.
is there any annual expectation on fitness?
So this is one of my biggest gripes, right? And
Choose your words wisely. Is that one of those things?
no. Fuck it. I mean,
I say whatever I want.
don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm a fucking black belt. You know,
He got his black belt today. Goddamn.
you know, fucking. So this is one of my biggest gripes, and a couple people, as you know, came up to me, approached me, and asked me to think about running for sheriff. They want to support me. A couple of like pretty powerful, wealthy people, and I seriously like considered it.
I thought you were the sheriff already.
Fuck yeah, right?
Fucking black belt.
You know, but
Is the sheriff even a black belt?
No, he is not
Sign
a
up
black
for
belt.
Adopt-A-Cop champ. You
I
guys
knew I'd
should
do a
fight
good
for
job. I know. Oh, easy
fuck.
day. Done. I knew I'd do a good job. I also knew my life would change significantly for the worse. So I decided to get out of it. But they used to have an annual physical fitness test, right? Well, someone up in a high enough position decided they didn't want to do it or
Who's a
couldn't
fat,
pass
lazy
it.
pussy.
Right, exactly. Who's a fat piece of shit, couldn't do it. So what did they do? They fucking
Lowered the standard.
They did away
God
with it.
damn
They
it.
did away with it. So there is none now. And that is the first fucking that's the first little trip or step off the cliff to fucking shittiness.
Yeah, of course it is.
Right. And that was one of my things. Like I was talking to these guys, like the first thing I'm doing, if I do get elected sheriff, I'm bringing back a fucking yearly, at least a minimum yearly fucking PFT standard. And guess who's the first motherfucker that's going to be out running it?
You.
Fucking me.
And bro,
You know?
and if you can't pass it, you shouldn't
You
be
are
on
non-deployable.
You are not. You should not be on patrol.
If you can't pass it, you're non-deployable. You get reassigned to a fucking administrative duty. You have, 3 months or whatever to retest. And fucking, if you don't pass it again, I'm processing your fucking
So
paperwork.
since we're getting controversial,
Now we are.
look, I'm not the type. I don't like to get controversial, but you two have both experience in law enforcement. I don't. So I really, I feel like
Bro, I don't think it's that different than the
Listen,
military. An
I don't-
expectation of fitness.
No. I don't think that, me personally, I don't think that women should be police officers.
100% I agree with you. 100% I agree with you.
Bro, I say this. They need to be able
And trust me,
to hold
no one loves
the
women more than I
exact
do.
same
I
standard.
love women, but they have a certain place.
I love women and
Sorry.
and I'm super protective of women, and I just don't think that they should be police officers purely out of like my concern for them, because we are just different creatures.
Bro.
Like we are different genetically, and
I talk about this. I've talked about this on my podcast. And a friend of mine, her name's Haley. She did the podcast like 6 months ago. She just got into the regiment. One of the first females, right?
the Army Rangers.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
Because that's where, bro, she is a physical savage. Like if her and I were going to run right now, she would run me into the fucking dirt.
But Rangers got to do a lot more than running.
No, I'm not saying that, like, obviously, I'm going to beat her in a fight 100 out of 100 times. But this is the things that people don't bring up, okay? Is that when I'm deployed for 6 months, and dude, she's a fucking attractive young lady,
And you're
right?
shitting in a hole.
And I'm shitting in a hole right next to you.
next to another dude on another
And
fucking...
I'm in a foxhole with you, and I haven't had pussy in fucking 6 months, and I'm going crazy. But not only those things that are real that people don't want to address that are real. It's
those are
like
real.
Human beings. One of our most primal, powerful drives is our sex drive.
Yep.
And when I'm deployed with an attractive
Not
young
human
lady,
beings, Greg. That's every
that's right.
that's
Fucking
every
animals.
living thing on Earth.
And so it's like, of course, this is going to take precedence over military policy or fucking like your general
Military
order.
bearing.
Your general order. It's like, well, I got a super cute girl that's digging me,
Hey.
and I'm in a patrol base
And
with
we're
her,
in a fucking deer hole
But
together.
then here's the other thing that people won't, and I don't understand why military leaders won't acknowledge this. It's like, if we're doing a raid and fucking Mitch goes down and Haley goes down,
Yeah.
I am going to be 100%
Naturally, just
more compelled
instinctually.
to fucking
Protect
give
Haley.
all my attention to protect her over you.
Even if it's not tactically the best decision.
That's right.
100%. You're right.
And
Absolutely.
so that is a dynamic. It's the sexual desire, and it's the inherent need to take care of women that and people can say, oh, well, this or that, but I've been in special operations. You've been in special operations. We've all lived in this world. You can take whatever your political fucking...
You three had.
You can take your whatever is politically correct and shove it up your ass, because the majority of men that are walking that path behave a certain way. And I know because I walked it, and I know those men intimately, and they have an inherent drive and desire to protect their women. And so we talked about it on the mats today. Don't fuck with my girls on the mats. It's a different thing. If I watch you get your nose broke at jiu-jitsu tomorrow, I mean, you got your lip split today. I didn't give a fuck, bro.
If one of my guys...
I don't give a... Mitch got his lip split.
I told Dustin, you're fucked now, bro.
But, bro...
Oh, shit, you're fucked, bro.
But if that happened to one of my girls...
Oh, bro, there'd be
massive for that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I would have an emotional response to it.
And for the next 5 minutes, that dude would get slowly suffocated and murdered, and then whispered in his ear, don't ever... ever.
And bro,
fuck,
men and women are not the same.
You know,
there are differences,
and that's okay.
We have different capabilities.
Yes.
And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but we're different creatures. And the fact that
we have different strengths.
Yes. 100%. And the fact that we've wanted to just pretend that's not the case, we're not being honest with
ourselves.
Everyone's
equal.
Dude.
Blah blah blah.
That's one of the issues with our society.
Nothing is equal.
Bro, and like going back,
we're
to
not
Mitch's,
all equal.
No, not at all, dude.
Period.
And going back to Mitch's thing, like I wholeheartedly believe that women should not be involved in operational patrol law enforcement positions. Now, that being said, I think in investigation units, right? You know,
strength,
homicide,
attention to detail,
attention to detail.
Like that.
Just they're smart, they're dedicated, they're driven.
But you're not going to go deal with a fucking drunk or a meth head.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? A fucking man.
That's right. And every you know, I've worked with a couple women over the years, and every time they were involved in something, they got me into a fight that I basically was end up being in a fight by myself because I couldn't fight for shit.
You are going to be more aggressive and on edge when they're there.
100%, because you want to protect them. But they're good for other things. Fucking crime lab and investigate homicide, sex crimes.
Women, I feel like women, a lot of women are smarter than a lot of men.
100%. I agree.
Way smarter.
That's my thing here, dude. They're
way more patient. They're way more in control of their emotions sometimes.
Yep.
You know, especially like alpha men, like, you know, because you think like women sometimes can be emotional and this and that, but their emotions are more like, you know, oh, you yelled at me, or you know, but where guys are like, fuck that.
Everyone at this table is more hyper emotional than fucking most
but
people.
When men like kind of lose their tempers or whatever, it can get like you know, bad or whatever. When women when they're more emotional, it's kind of, you know, it's not as destructive.
Well, bro, I can prove this point because there are people that are hearing you say this and they're like, he's a sexist pig, right? So
I don't care.
Let's just make this a scenario. Right now, there are two men in the parking lot. We don't know who they are. We don't know their skill set. We know nothing other than there are two men in the parking lot that you have to go out there and fight right now. Okay, so I know I'm walking out into the parking lot of Vita Jiu-Jitsu and I have to fight two men. And I am told I get to choose one person to come with me. It can be a person at this table.
Mitch.
Yeah.
Oh, right? Just anyone. Okay.
No.
Mitch.
So I can choose a person at this table, or I can choose out of the female officers that I used to work with. And I love some of those girls. They're close friends with me to this day, right? Some of them I think are stupid cunts too. But that is neither here nor there. If I know I have to go fight two men and I get to choose one person to come with me, it's going to be someone at this table.
For sure.
Period. It's not going to be one of my female patrol partners.
Right.
So
it's also not going to be the fat cop that fucking rolled up.
No. And I love that you said that because I wanted to bring that up too, is that it's not just the fact that they're females. There are plenty of male officers
that have no business.
Bro,
that guy, dude. I was pissed.
In my department, I would rather take some of my girls to have my back over some of the guys.
You're a liability.
Yeah.
100% to yourself and everyone around you.
You're a liability.
Go fucking sell cars for a fucking living. Quit. If you don't train after your shift or before your shift And if you can't see your fucking dick when you take a piss, all right, and you go home and drink beer instead of fucking working out, go fucking turn in your gun and your fucking patrol unit and quit and go fucking sell cars because you're a fucking liability.
For sure.
And if you have a problem with that, come say it to my face.
Yes, if you have a problem, come on down.
No,
Jiu-Jitsu,
but bro,
Mandeville,
here's
Louisiana.
a perfect example. Victor went out last night, and because we're from Seattle and we're out
There
of
should
town.
be Ubers everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was the thing.
I guess there's no Ubers in Mandeville,
Madisonville,
Louisiana.
Louisiana. There's no Ubers on a Friday night at 2 a.m.
We have this company in Seattle called
A.
Uber.
But bro, so he said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the bar and have some drinks and fucking meet some chicks or whatever, right?"
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
10 p.m. I catch an Uber out there.
Allegedly
no problem.
hot.
She
We're
didn't-
drinking.
and she didn't.
I didn't say Supra. I said, yeah, she's fine. We're
Yeah,
drinking.
actually, your
Good time.
words were she was cute.
That's
But
cute. I didn't
but then
go into details.
Hey, and then I heard the word fupa.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what?
it was at
You know-
4 a.m. She picked.
You know-
Hang on. Let me tell the story first.
I was going to say, pigs are cute.
But bro,
I didn't specify anything to her. Anyways, I take that Uber out there, right? 2 a.m. comes around. I'm like, cool. Well, obviously, I'll just Uber back. I check my Uber app. Nothing. It's just doing the searching and searching. I'm searching. Fuck it. I'll try Lyft. Searching and searching. It's like, okay, well, it was like a 10, 15-minute drive here. No problem. I'll just walk back. I hit the directions on my map. 2.5 hours.
Why didn't you have Staines drive you home? Huh? The kid you took the picture with.
yeah, that motherfucker.
Why don't you have him take you home?
So
Anyway, so I'm walking back, right? Through, I don't know where the fuck I am.
a
Madison.
neighborhood. You're in downtown Old Mandeville, which
Yeah.
is like a ritzy bougie neighborhood.
Yeah, so I'm walking through, and I get close to Main Road by the Smoothie King place, I think, and all of a sudden I get rolled up on. Dude comes in hot, spotlight, lights pulls 3 feet away from me, and I'm like, oh, hands out of the pockets. I'm chilling, and it's like, oh,
because you're Mexican.
it's
isn't
your,
it?
yeah,
Puerto
it's-
Rican,
No, it's because
but-
you're Mexican.
sure, I'm brown.
tell
I'm
me-
the one brown person in
Don't tell
Mandeville
me
walking around at 2 a.m.
what kind of Mexican you are.
Bro, stop saying you're brown.
You ain't that
Dude.
brown, dog.
Yeah.
I know, it's rough.
You and
Dude,
this
he gets
table
out of the-
fucking match.
Dude, he gets out of the fucking car. Yo, let me see your hands where I can see him. I'm like, yeah, we're good. Hey, I'm just trying to get home, whatever. This cop is fat as fuck, dude. And I was like, and short. So it was like it's a bad combination. I was like, well, first of all, if we get in a fucking fist fight right now and you try to arrest me for walking home, like,
you should just run.
That's gonna be, yeah, run or it's not gonna be a good day. Well, I have no idea where I'm at, and everything's flat here, so he's gonna see
no
me running.
terrain.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
He's the fastest kid alive.
Dude, so cool. Let me see your ID. What are you doing out here walking around? I was like, well, I just left the bar. There's no Ubers. Trying to get back to the gym, whatever. Luckily, everyone in this town knows Lapin. You say Vita Jiu-Jitsu. It's all good. Dude, so I hand him IDs. Oh, you know Lapin? Oh, yeah, here. Gets back in the car and goes. Doesn't even offer me a ride. Fuck that dude. Dude, he was so fucking fat. I was
Bro.
like, how are you on patrol at 2 a.m. on a Friday night? What the fuck are you gonna do? A bar fight breaks out. You're not breaking shit up.
Bro, I need to unpack this though, because it's bigger than that.
I need to know who this is.
We
gotta
had a fat cop stop you
Yeah.
and say, "Show me your hands. What are you doing out here?" Bro, it's like I'm doing whatever the fuck I want out here.
Well,
No,
we're
no,
not
no,
going
no,
to talk
no,
about
no,
this.
no, no,
Hang
no,
on.
no, no.
I'm an
I was
American.
with Greg
I am
on
an
this one.
American
Anderson or
citizen.
Lapin?
No, listen.
Anderson or
No,
Lapin?
I was with Anderson on this
I'm
one.
I am an
Lapin.
American citizen.
If I want to
I
walk
am
around at
free.
3 in the morning, I can fucking
walk
do whatever I
wherever
want.
the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want. And here's the thing: a cop can do what's called a social contact, right? So I was a fucking cop for a long time. I understand how social contact works. I can drive up to you and be like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing out here, man? Like, why are you walking down the street at 3 in the morning?" And you can say like, "Oh man," like you can tell me your story.
Because it's America, motherfucker.
Or
You can say that, right?
Or
Yeah,
you can
yes, you
say,
can,
for sure.
because I can walk wherever I want to, motherfucker.
See, I wasn't going to say that last night.
Right?
A little
But-
drunk
but
and
you could.
2.5 hour walk ahead of me.
But what are you doing out here? Whatever the fuck I want. Where are you
Right.
going? Wherever the
Oh,
fuck
sorry.
I want.
I thought this is America.
Here's the thing. If a fat cop gets out of his car at 2 a.m., he's not there to be cool with me.
No, I
First
know.
off.
And that's why I was so mad about it. And then laughing because I go, bro, that's a fucking Fourth Amendment violation. That's an illegal seizure. If he's putting a spotlight on you saying, pull your fucking hands out of your pockets.
I was like,
bro,
oh, I'm chilling.
And
I'm
bro,
just walking.
hey, case law will support this. If you even shine a light on someone, that can be considered
That's a use of force.
Absolutely. And an illegal
Dude,
detention.
spotlighted me. I was
So
like, I'm-
for him to
I'm not
tell
doing
you,
shit.
for him to pull up, shine a bunch of lights on you, and say, where are you going? The answer is wherever the fuck I want to. For
sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any kind of reasonable suspicion that I was involved in any kind of nefarious activity? Oh, you weren't? Go
Oh, I'm
fuck
sorry.
yourself.
Is it illegal to fuck fat chicks?
Is it illegal
Try
to meet girls
and fuck
to meet
fat
girls
chicks.
with fupas?
Try
and go home
and
with
fuck
them?
fat chicks.
No, but bro, like, and I get it. I get it because it's like, oh, they're just doing their job. They're trying to protect the community.
Hang on.
He's got clear there.
Hang on. First
Fuck
off,
you.
fuck both of y'all. What you were insinuating did not happen. Second of all,
It did too.
I'm on Lapin's side on this because if that was your neighborhood,
It doesn't matter what neighborhood it is. There's something called the Constitution.
So you got to be
It's some
honest.
sketchy
The
dude
neighborhood
that you
is
don't know
America.
Just walk around your neighborhood at 3 a.m., kind of just peeking around, maybe just walking, whatever. You're not
And
like,
you
who
see
the
him.
fuck are
Maybe
you
they're
doing
a
in my
fucking
neighborhood?
night owl.
Get out of here.
You know, it's a
Hey.
beautiful night. You know, maybe you're from fucking Seattle and it's fucking cold and rainy and miserable and fucking full of liberal cucks.
So you
that
would question
walk
why
around
he's
masked.
walking around
So
even
you know
more in
what?
your neighborhood.
And
Get
it's
the
a
fuck
time
outta here.
difference here. It's
Your dad has 3 daughters in the
only 1
neighborhood. Some
o'clock
dude
where
is
I'm
walking
from.
around.
I'm still awake. It's a beautiful night. I want to
No,
go
no.
for a fucking
You're
walk.
gonna do that shit too. You're gonna go be like, dude, what are you doing in my neighborhood? This
I
night?
agree with both of you guys. I agree, but at the same time, if I saw a dude, if I got up to get a
I just
glass
talked
of
about
water,
this friendly debate show. And we're like, fucking retard. This is why I can't.
if
host
I
the
got
show.
up at 2 a.m. to get a glass of water,
Yep.
right, and I saw a dude that I didn't recognize walking down my street in
Yep.
my neighborhood, guess what?
Bro,
You're
I am
fucking getting 1,500 lumens in the fucking
Thank you.
face.
No,
I
listen,
would 100%
listen,
agree.
Live here,
listen.
motherfucker.
You're a psycho.
Let me unpack this.
Yeah,
let
thank
me
you.
unpack
Everyone to
this.
say
Why
was
don't you
a
move to
little bit.
fucking Afghanistan?
If I was in my neighborhood and I saw a guy, and dude, we're energy people. We fucking read people. We fucking can look at someone and have an understanding of
Yeah, for sure.
You guys have obviously never lived in the ghetto.
Should they be here? Should they not be here? And I saw someone in my neighborhood that I thought was gonna prowl cars or be a shithead.
I lived in the ghetto and I fucking beat the fuck out of
I mean,
him.
What?
that's
No, no, no,
because-
listen,
listen, because if he is profiling, I'm
walking
walking
down the
clean
street.
boots,
Other people's
nice
radios.
jacket,
For-
clean
for
jeans. I'm
walking
just
down the
walking-
street?
Other
No
people's
issue, right?
radios.
I mean,
Listen, if I
Riding
saw
other people's bikes.
If you give me a reason.
we're stepping on all over each other's dicks. If I saw a person that in my heart of hearts I felt like shouldn't be in this neighborhood, yeah, I'll say, like, bro, hey, and I would be like, bro, what, can I help you?
oh, because he's Mexican, he doesn't
Right.
belong in this neighborhood.
That's
huh?
me as Greg Anderson,
Right.
homeowner, father of 3 daughters. Unfortunately, people that work for the government have to operate under the Constitution. I know that's a fucking unfortunate fucking thing
See,
that you guys have to
You know
abide
the thing I
by.
was most fucking pissed off about? I handed him my ID, and I was like, yeah, I'm headed to Vita Jiu Jitsu. I'm staying there. I know Greg Lapin. There's no Ubers.
Bro.
He didn't offer me a ride. What a
Yeah.
fucking
That's
prick.
what I wanna
You
find out
have
who
a
it was.
2-hour walk ahead of me.
Bro,
you
stop.
know where I'm going, and you're not
Stop.
giving me a ride?
Why the fuck does he have the legal authority to ask you for an ID and see who you are?
He clearly did,
he
based on your
doesn't.
opinion.
So probable cause because you're walking at night?
So no,
That's
you
called-
need,
is it illegal
you need
to walk
probable
at night?
cause to
No.
arrest somebody. You need what's called reasonable suspicion
for a Terry
to
stop.
detain somebody. So he needs if he's going to tell Victor, "Hey, stop! You are not free to go."
That's detaining.
That's detaining,
detaining,
and I
yeah.
have
Wait,
to
so when he-
listen. I have to believe that you committed a crime.
Reasonably, yeah.
So once he asked me for my ID, is that when the line was crossed too far?
no.
So we don't know though.
We
if
don't know
there-
the
maybe
line.
a radio call came out. Hey, there's some Mexican that just fuck this fat chick, and then we saw him like steal her
Dude, this
panties.
was before
They were
fucking the fat
this
chick.
big, and he stuffed them in his back in his pockets and ran out. And then you would have reasonable
Suspicion,
suspicion
yeah, for a Terry stop,
Like,
yeah.
look, here's a Mexican guy, white as can be.
So this
and
is so, bro. This is how it
There's
looks.
a white
That checks
Mexican
out.
The
guy.
white Mexican
Hey, bro,
can't get him.
if I'm a cop and I get that call,
You're
We
not
don't know.
stopping me because I don't look like white
we don't
Mexican.
know if that cop got that call.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm a cop and I get that call, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, bro, show me your hands. Fucking stop. I need to talk to you about A, B, and C. Like, there's an issue that transpired, and I need to talk to you about this. Right? He didn't talk to you about anything.
Hey, you know what's crazy is I got rolled up on so fast. I was like, I don't know where I'm at. Is this kind of hood? And I kind of stood back. I was like, oh shit, someone's opened the door real quick. I didn't realize it was a cop car until he got out and was like, yo, show me your hands off. And I was like,
so he didn't light up the blues?
No, he hit me with a spotlight.
Yeah, once you hit that spotlight, you're blind.
Dude, and I was like,
and that's,
wait, I'm
that's
about to
by
get
design.
fucking jumped or something at fucking 2 a.m. Dude, that was wild.
Did he ask you where you were coming from?
Yeah.
Ask you where you were going to?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that. Let me see your ID.
Where are you going? Wherever I want. Where are you coming from?
Vita Jiu Jitsu.
Your mom's house.
Lapin's getting his black belt tomorrow. You know him.
But let me say this, though, because, and it's similar in my town, because I have a lot of friends that are cops. A lot of my students are cops. And it's cool if you know cops, right? And I've got out of stuff. Like when my mom's apartment that was overtaken by meth heads, she called the police and she goes, there's 10 drug addicts living in my apartment. Can you get them out? The sheriff office goes, well, that's it sounds like a civil matter now that they've established residence there, and gave her some bullshit, right? When I went there, I said, bro, I'm going to fucking evict these dudes with body armor and an AR-15. And if anyone thinks that's unreasonable, I don't fucking care. And I'm going right now.
They're trespassing.
No, but there was like 4 cops who are like,
cool, we'll go
Greg,
with you.
bro, come on, man. Of course we'll go with you and help you out, right?
Right.
So it's cool if you know the right people.
for sure,
And that's
100%.
life, right?
Yeah, it would have been
It's
weird
not-
if I didn't know him. He's like, well,
So you
you're
know.
coming with me.
That's what I'm saying,
Like,
bro.
oh, shit.
So,
Yeah,
so you got to
true.
know Greg Lapin to walk down the street at 2 a.m. That's fucked up.
That's
And I
fair.
want to know
And
which one of the
cops
Mandeville
like
guys didn't give my boy a ride
rep,
home.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a bad look for cop. It's and you know for people.
I'll recognize his face.
For people like me who are trying to fucking help cops with programs like Adopt a Cop, and we're trying to raise money for, you know, and like we're trying to be on the side of cops or whatever, and this guy's being a fucking dick for no reason, you know, like that dude's just abusing his fucking power, and that's not cool.
What's actually wild is when I said his name, you should have seen how fast he wanted to get out of there. Right? I was like, hey, I'm going to Vita. Hey, like my
When you
friends
said my name?
Yeah. And I was like, he was like, oh yeah, no, you're good. I was like, wait, what? You know what I mean? Like, didn't want to talk to me anymore.
And bro, I'll tell you, when I was
Because he knew that he was in the wrong, and he didn't want to give you a ride because then you would know his name. You would have a conversation that might transpire.
I had a 2-hour walk ahead.
Yeah, but it might. This conversation might transpire on a podcast or whatever, and like you know, but you might get back to Greg
And then I
that
shame him
this
publicly
fucking
to
guy,
smash him in the gym, for
John
sure.
Doe, Officer John Doe,
Right.
did this to me, but then he was cool and gave me a ride, and he'd be like, no, fuck that. That's
Right.
or Greg would be like, you know, fuck that. That's bullshit. He shouldn't have done that.
He should have showed
So
some
he knew he
extreme
was in the
ownership
wrong.
and owned it.
And bro,
you know what
I
mean?
can't tell you how many times, like, when I see people doing
Glad
things that
your
are
ass
like
walked.
fucking. No, but when you're a police officer and you see people behaving in a way that's like, dude, what are these kids up to, right? You can approach those situations with grace and with tact.
Correct.
And like I've had that happen countless times where I roll up in my patrol car and the tension's so thick you can cut it with a knife. And like, what the fuck's this cop doing?
sure.
And I step out and instead of saying, show me your hands, I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? What do you guys, what's up? What are you guys doing here? Blah, blah, blah. And you turn it into a conversation instead of like, I'm up here,
That's
you're down
literally
here.
what I was thinking is.
And I'm going to tell you why I think this happens, because I'm a confident enough person
Right.
that if I go out there and have a discussion with someone and he turns into some shithead that I got a problem with, fuck you, let's go.
Right.
I can turn that dial up in a fraction of a second. But I think the cops that aren't confident enough in themselves to be able to go from, hey, what's up? Hey, how we doing tonight?
Sure.
To fucking smashing you.
They start aggressive.
They start aggressively.
Right.
This is also coming from the guy that wanted to start a fight with 7 14-year-olds at Mexican dinner last night.
At the Mexican place with shitty guacamole.
Well,
no,
but,
listen.
but to his point though, like let's say Dave was the one to roll up on me, right? Dave's a cool dude, great
Yeah.
cop, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey buddy, what you doing out here tonight?
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah,
a different
yeah.
tone. It's like,
That's
hey man, I'm going.
that's all my
cool,
guys
what you
are
need,
here.
right?
Bro,
It's
if
different.
you can approach your interaction with someone as community caretaking,
correct.
I can always change it to, oh, you're a shithead with a warrant. I
Right.
gotcha.
Dude, I may have had some drinks. I was like, oh, hands up. Oh,
You know how I would have rolled up to you if I want to see what you're doing? I rolled, hey, what's up, man? You good, dude?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you headed, bro? You all good? You sure? And right away from your very first, interaction,
Right.
vocal interaction with me, I would be able to tell whether you were intoxicated or not, or I'm gonna diagnose where you're going. Do you belong there? I'm gonna look at what your fucking hand move. What your movement's like. Are you trying to hide something, conceal something? Like, and then I'll continue my investigation, or I'll fucking take off, or I'll fucking offer you a ride, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Greg Anderson and I have talked about this in previous. I don't know if it's been on podcasts or just conversations. So we have a lot of conversations that we're like, God damn it, this should have been a podcast. But like, you can't. It's very hard to bring a situation down once you've escalated. That's right.
It. Yes.
You can always start super calm and cool and escalate it. Like you can go from 0 to 100, no problem. Yes. But it's very hard to go from 100 to 0.
Yeah. And you get people all spun up. You get them flustered. You offend them. You show me your fucking hands. Yeah. As soon as you say that,
now you're on defense.
You elevate them. You got a problem now, right?
Elevate them.
And so. I think if you're a more confident person, and he said he was super short, no hate, you don't get to pick your height, but he was super fat too. You do get to choose that, right?
Yeah.
So he obviously doesn't take his position as a police officer extremely important.
I hope he's listening to this.
Yeah. So
I'm going to make sure he does because I got a bunch of Mandeville cops that train here.
So you don't take that position extremely important.
It's a small department.
And then you posture on some.
I'm going to find out.
You posture on a random person. Bro, posturing on random people should feel like it comes with consequences. There should be a problem with that, right? And so for a cop to do that for no fucking reason, bro, he could have just as easily pulled up and just like you said, hey man, if he pulled up and rolled his window down, it's like, hey bro, are you good or you need anything? Like
been a totally different situation.
So
way different.
Hey, just so you know, I don't see dudes walking around down this street at 2:30 in the morning. So when I do, I'm gonna stop and see if you're good. What is there anything?
You know what's wild? I felt so weird because I was like, "There's no sidewalks here in Louisiana, right? In Seattle, sidewalks everywhere.
Yeah. No, there's not. Right? There's like, fucking ditches full of water. There's ditches full of water with alligators in them that eat human beings.
Dude, yeah, it was a weird experience. Like I had no idea where I was.
If you think that comment is a lie, DM me on Instagram and I will show you a full-grown adult male that got eaten by an alligator here in Mandeville, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
You can't DM me on Instagram right now.
September.
Because they have deleted my third account.
Fuck Instagram and fuck Monster.
Everyone's trying to keep your boy down.
Hey, perfect fucking segue. Because the fact that you keep getting deplatformed is it infuriates it. Did I say that right? Infuriates me?
Yeah.
But the thing about your platform is, sure, you use it for the Mitch show. You talk about what frustrates you politically and socially, but it's also your platform to promote your products, sell your fucking smashing greens, get awareness on massive industries. And now...
And we changed people's lives.
And now they... yeah, exactly.
That lose weight. That fat cop needs to hit up massivesupplements.com.
So now they have deplatformed you and they have taken your ability... They have impeded your professional life, right? And that should be something that is extremely upsetting to people. And I know you and I talked about it off the air. You're like, bro, I'm preaching from the fucking mountaintops about freedom, people needing to stand up for themselves, and people needing to have some courage at your own detriment. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, everybody else is just going along to get along. You have nothing to gain by telling people this.
It's literally just costing me uber amounts of money.
In fact, not only do you have nothing to gain, you have a lot to lose.
Yeah, you're losing.
I have already lost so much.
Because you were trying to promote freedom and liberty
just
and
trying
courage.
To spark fucking courage and like lead by example and like use my platform to try to wake people up and try to show them like it's okay. You need to do this. Like you know,
said, what'd you say?
Fortune favors
the bold to the waitress today. Like, fucking stand up. She's like, I don't want to be the only one wearing a mask. No, fucking be the only one wearing the mask. That's powerful. Be that only one because you won't be the only one.
As soon as she took it off, she realized
she loved every moment of not wearing it.
Yeah, but as soon as she took it off, she was like. Remember, she was like, I just realized like everyone over here is not wearing it and everyone over there is.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, doesn't it feel good to not wear it?
Though.
She's like, oh my God, it's so great.
Yep.
But bro, the whole reason I bring up the fact that you standing up and losing your platform, it's like, how much longer are people expecting to be guided or be inspired or be fucking told what to do at the expense of fucking your business, my business? Like, people are giving their life energy to try and help others have courage. But what we're seeing, I mean, fuck, bro, it is what it is. Over the last 24 months, we've seen a lot of people bend a knee, be pussies, comply, and it's like, oh, my job's on the line. Oh, my boss told me this. If I don't get a vaccine, I'm going to get fired. And there's a part of me that's coming to the conclusion that people are going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And is it worth sacrificing your fucking business and your livelihood to try and inspire other people if they're not fucking willing to do it themselves?
No.
Well, dude,
Fuck no.
I asked Mitch that earlier while we were driving around, right? And I think the conclusion is, hey, hey, Mitch, you're doing this for everyone else, right? When do you think that point is? The people will do it for themselves, right? In a sense. Well, when those people themselves have nothing to lose, right? And have we hit that point yet? Clearly not, because if they're not out there marching with Mitch, right, and doing these things, we have not hit that point yet. And if it's not gonna, if it's not affecting their life enough, or they're too soft to stand up for, it's like, then what, you want just the people at this table to do it? Like, what? I don't know.
I think part of the problem is, and I think it was you wearing a shirt that said "attitude is contagious" yesterday.
Yep.
And that's 100% the truth. Attitude is contagious both ways, though, right? So shitheads are contagious. Good fucking squared away dudes are contagious. And the one thing the left is very good at is they're not the majority. They're the fucking minority. But they have the majority of the voice because you've got a small
they can
percentage.
silence people like
That's right,
me.
exactly.
And
you got a small percentage
and
of
Ian
shitheads.
Smith and know these guys, they just scorched them.
This started decades ago, but the left has also taken over all of our media platforms, so they control that. Whereas if I don't even want to say the right, but if fucking like squared away fucking constitutionalists, libertarians, fucking good fucking people was like, I'm going to start a social media company 10 years ago.
Right.
Well, now we would have more of a voice, so I don't want to be this actually, you guys, and this whole fucking, whatever you want to fucking call it, bullshit over the last couple of years, and you guys have made me more vocal. I stuck to local government, and I called out our local government leaders multiple times. But
I know that what Greg and I have been doing is making an impact and is making a difference because, I'm sure Greg as well I've gotten thousands of DMs saying that, you've inspired me to, do X, Y, and Z or whatever. And, we're just not seeing it on a huge, massive scale right now. Like I'm seeing a lot of people still complying and I'm just like this literally would fucking end
yesterday.
Well, it's interesting. I mean,
if people just said no.
I mean, it's interesting.
Like, look at the Southwest pilots. They said we're not doing this, and they fucking fucked the system up.
That was rad. It was
thousands of people fucking flights cancel, whatever, blah blah blah.
Because
and they said it was due to weather.
They on a perfectly sunny day when every other airline was flying.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Southwest. Fuck you, the media, for
but it's
promoting
like,
that shit.
like, and you know what happened? They were like, you know what? Never mind on the vaccine mandate. Like it takes just a little bit of fucking courage to have these crazy effects, and like people just do not fucking understand. Like they just think, well, I'm just me. I'm nobody. I'm just a worker at blank. But it's like, there's so many of you.
One worker leads to two
There's
workers,
so many
which leads
of
to fucking
you.
10 workers. Yeah.
Like if you all communicate and show a little bit of courage by just saying no and sticking together and link arms and fucking be united, then you will quickly see, like, they can threaten you and this and that. It's a scare tactic. And the majority of Americans are fucking paralyzed by fear.
Yes.
And bro, that doesn't matter if you're a police officer.
Fortune favors the bold.
Police officer, part of a giant corporation like Boeing, even in the military. Period.
If every fucking Navy SEAL said, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck if you're in the military and you will obey orders that are appointed. Blah, blah, blah. If every fucking Navy SEAL said, we're not doing this,
It's done.
that's a wrap.
Oh, we want no more Navy SEALs?
Oh, you're going to kick out all of us? You're going to send us all to the brig?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's,
Dude,
that's not
I've
I'll
had
call your bluff.
I've had
Yeah.
some weirdos DM me that are like, hey, when you sign the dotted line, the
Yeah.
government owns you.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
The military is made of people.
Yeah, people. But here's the reason that I say fuck off. You were literally taught as a private that not only should you, but you are obligated to refuse orders that are immoral, unethical, or illegal. Remember being taught that?
And to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
So-
It says that for a fucking reason.
So when you're given an order
100%.
that you believe to be immoral or unethical, i.e., take this vaccine that Pfizer is making billions of dollars on, that we don't have a very well understanding of, no matter what we say, that's starting to
your black belt
sound
today.
kind of immoral or unethical.
Yeah, did you not get your fucking black belt?
I did.
You did. You got
That-
your black belt today.
Yeah, exactly.
Lapin, I won't berate you for the amount of alcohol you consume.
Appreciate that.
Because I'll let you do you, and I'll do me. And
Fuck
these
yeah.
two guys can fuck off with their peer pressure.
Salud.
This is America.
I'm gonna drink whatever the fuck I want.
I'll drink
wherever
whatever
the fuck
I want.
This is
He's a
fucking
black
America.
belt, dude.
I'm a black belt.
I'm fucking brown belt. I know my pecking order.
One day.
Hierarchy.
One day,
Brown
when you
belt.
tell me you want to be a black belt, it might happen.
And I will be there too.
Maybe someday.
Well, I think what's cool is the people who have super large platforms are actually speaking out against it now, right?
Finally.
Joe Rogan, Jocko, all these guys.
Are
that
they speaking out against it?
Yeah, I've been hearing it recently.
I've heard Joe Rogan,
Finally.
Yep.
but that's about it.
I've heard it.
And I'm not saying that in a manner that's like everybody else should be, but everybody else should be.
Well, I mean, in the beginning, right? The
If
first
you-
year and a half, they're talking about
Yeah.
it in a very, maybe this, maybe that connotation, but now it's very against it.
How much fucking further does it need to go?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Like what the
Dude,
fuck?
to walk into a restaurant in the city and county of the city of Seattle in King County, you have to have proof of vaccination. I don't go out anymore. Like, fuck you. It's
the
weird.
vaccines do not stop you from getting COVID. They do not stop you from spreading COVID.
LeBron James has COVID and he was twice vaccinated. Fuck
So
you.
was Jen Psaki. So was
Fuck
fucking
Jen Psaki.
She. I hope she dies a
I've
miserable
not
death.
been vaccinated, and I had the sniffles once for like
I
3
lost.
days.
I didn't even have the sniffles. I lost my sense of taste and smell for 2 days.
Yeah.
That was it. Smash my greens.
Have
MassiveSupplements.com.
COVID twice.
Every-
Yeah, I'm
listen,
alive.
yeah.
And my buddy Sheely told me this 20 months ago. He's like, COVID is with us now.
Forever.
It's part of life. It's going to be like the cold. It's going to be like the flu.
If you live for the next 5 years, 100% guaranteed you will get COVID,
And guess what?
and you'll live probably.
If you're healthy and you take care of yourself, it's a non-factor.
This is not a pandemic of the unvaccinated. It's a pandemic of the unhealthy.
yeah,
of the media.
unhealthy,
The obese.
fat fuck
Like that fucking
weaklings.
cop.
Like we should not have dude, I'm all for a fucking fat tax. Because it's not the unvaccinated that are taxing our
That are
taxing our health
overwhelming.
system.
Yeah.
It's the obese and the unhealthy.
And I don't care if you want to be obese, but you
Yep.
should pay a tax on it for
We pay
for the fucking
taxes for everything else.
because they are the ones that are literally fucking clogging up our healthcare systems and stuff.
Bro.
Like heart disease is the #1 killer in America. Diabetes,
Yep.
fucking there's all kinds of disease, shit from being fucking overweight.
But they'll say we're
Dude,
fat shaming.
fuck you if you're I am about fat shaming.
Bro,
So, hang on. So
the
one
reality is the opposite right now. Now there's like models on the cover of magazines that
Don't
are
even-
obese.
Bro,
and
don't
it's
even get
like,
me.
You are
This is
ugly.
beautiful.
this is the new beautiful.
Your fat body is disgusting.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's disgusting. And it's not
and
disgusting.
unhealthy and fucking unhealthy.
th-
It's,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just a reflection of how lazy
Of
you
how
are.
lazy you are. And here's
how
the thing.
undisciplined you
It's
are.
not like,
Your
I want-
addiction to food.
It's not a sexual thing. It's not like, when I look at this CrossFit girl, I want to fuck her, right? Which is true. I do. But bro, it's not the fact that it's like, I look at you and I think you're gross. It's that Your body is dying.
And we're not talking
you are
about
metabolic. If you were fat, you were metabolically sick.
And we're not talking about chicks that have a little bit of or guys that have a little bit of like fluff on them.
No.
We're talking about fucking fat people.
You can't perform. You can't fucking execute like physical tasks. You can't Not only is your body become incapable of actually functioning,
You
but
incarcerate yourself.
But bro, it's sick.
Yes,
It's
and
literally
it goes
sick.
beyond aesthetics.
Yeah. Right.
For Instagram photos,
And-
it's you're unhealthy.
And this is like I'll say it if no one else will. You know, like you are going to die early, and your family is going to be saddened by the life without you longer than you should have had. You know what I mean? Like you are incarcerated, not them. You're also incarcerating yourself in your own body. There's so many things that you won't be able to do because you are a fucking slave to food.
Like
And
tie
your-
your fucking shoe.
your desires
Like,
to
bro.
eat food. Like, you know what I mean? And like my little brother was fat growing up and I shamed him my whole life. And he eventually took the smashing greens at massivesupplements.com and
Is there
lost 110 pounds. And, was like, whoa, you're a new person.
Yeah.
Like my one of my followers that fucking did 5 fasts in a row and lost 100 pounds in 4 months and is now running fucking ultra marathons.
Love hearing that.
That is
Yeah,
a
dude.
totally
That's amazing.
different life. Like, at 54 years old, by the way.
And if you, I was going to say, if you're a fat fuck, let me rephrase that. If your body is in a state that you're not fucking proud of and that you want to change,
MASFsupplements.com.
you can stop it. You can
Smashing
change the trajectory today.
Yeah.
Today, right? Like,
And some people need to hit that fucking, like, look in the mirror and they're just like, ugh. Or see a picture of themselves from 10
but dude,
years ago.
And you heard what I said, like when my speech to the cadets. I'm like, look, okay, yes, you guys are fat, out of shape, sloppy, and unhealthy. I said, who here, and let's be honest with each other right now, who here in the morning when you get up and you're naked, getting in the shower, looks in the mirror and goes, yeah, I fucking look good. Who here thinks that?
I do.
I do. I fucking check myself out in the mirror all the time.
I
right?
go back and forth.
Fuck yeah.
I, honestly, like,
And
there are
there's
times
time-
that I
there's-
do, and
when
then there's times
and
when
I am real with myself when I
100%.
start to
Yeah.
slip too much and I get too
I'm like, oh, I
comfortable and
fucking look fat.
and I have a little, too much, or I indulge in a sundae from Outback
cookie-
or
a
something,
cookie
cookie sundae, or something like that, or maybe a foo-foo coffee from Starbucks,
Or
and,
two
of
or
them.
two, and and
Foo-foo.
and I'm like, oh. Okay, I can notice
Yeah.
that I've been a little
negative
lax.
effect.
I've been a little lax, and if I continue down this path, I'm going to continue to not like what I see.
That's right.
But if I turn it around and, start smashing my greens, get strict, maybe hit a workout a little harder.
And do the 12 days till Christmas?
Do the 12 days till Christmas. Maybe say no to that Sunday. Maybe have a little discipline and then all of a sudden I'm starting to like what I see in the mirror. And, I'm like, fuck yeah, if I keep going this way, I'm going to like what I see more.
Fuck yeah. And that's what I tell them. What you are today doesn't define you. Change it tomorrow. Start your trajectory tomorrow, right? Change it. Just because you're fat, you're overweight, you're out of shape right now, you're unhealthy, does not define you. Fucking fix it. Go.
and
Dude, I
bro,
don't
and a
understand.
1,000-mile journey starts with the first step.
Fucking right, dude.
You
I don't
know,
understand why you have to talk to cadets who are joining a police academy.
So, we're in a different fucking world, man.
It's fucking wild. They show up fat and out of shape. Like, what?
bro.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, here's the
They all
reality of.
they all hate me, by the way.
Here's the reality of
you're in
the
shape.
profession of law enforcement. Is that it's just a section, like, out of our society.
It's just another job.
There's a bell curve to everything, right? So it's going to be part of that.
If you're opening up 30 spots to be a sheriff in whatever fucking county, 30 people, do the fucking math. What percentage of Americans are morbidly obese? That's how many percentage
more.
of people you're going to get
You think 10%?
that are
More? I
applying
don't
to
know.
be fucking police
I
officers.
don't know the numbers.
It's got to be more than that.
Yeah.
What do you guys? You guys think it's?
Bob Hanley.
It's got to be more than 10% that are obese in this country.
Bro,
more than
10%?
Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
I think
It's like
I think it's
65 or 70.
Yeah.
Obese.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the
Yes.
fat girl we saw, rolls to the ankles. Like that to me is obese. So what are we defining as obese?
No.
That's less
I'm
than
not
obese. That's
defining
even
what's
way
obese.
more than obese.
That lady that we walked by today is in the top
1% of
percentile of fucking obesity.
It was sad,
Her
man.
gut was to her knees. And that's what I said. I said, bro, if your gut protrudes out 2 inches.
And you can't see your dick or your pussy while you fucking go to the bathroom, you're fat.
Well,
do something about
It's
it.
time to change.
Smash those fucking greens.
It's time to change, dude. We'll put a link to Smashing Greens on this episode.
You ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
The current rate of obesity in the U.S. is 42.4%, almost half of the population in the U.S.
Four out of 10.
obese. In the last 2 years,
Oh, what's it went up?
the prevalence of severe obesity has increased 4.7 to 9.2%.
I
Jesus
guarantee you
fucking
it's
Christ.
gotten worse during this pandemic.
Hundred,
Oh,
guarantee,
yeah, all
100
that,
fucking.
yeah.
And this is what,
almost
bro,
fucking half.
You know what's fucking crazy?
They
the
shut
best
down the
shape of my
gyms.
life I've been in was during COVID. I trained harder, more consistently. It was wild. And certain people went this way or that way.
if you take the fucking, oh, my gym's closed, or there's a million excuses, right? But this is the reality of being in shape. You don't need anything else other than planet Earth underneath your feet.
And maybe one kettlebell.
You can start, yeah, bro. Trust me. The more
I
equipment
don't
you
like
have, the better,
kettlebells.
right?
What?
But bro,
Never been a fan.
Damn.
hey, do burpees. Go
Jocko
for a
recommends burpees. He loves them.
Fuck burpees.
bro. Go for a run. Do push-ups.
Burpees are for faggots.
You know,
Push-ups, squats, lunges.
I hate burpees, but they work.
Burpees are fucking dumb, dude.
I think they're dumb too, but they still work.
They don't work.
Well, they make me tired as fuck, dude. I used to do.
Look
What
at
was
you,
it?
dude.
Yeah, look at me. Fucking 41-year-old savage, dude.
Yeah.
It was crazy though, man. That like, honestly, walking past that woman earlier, we're like, if you can't look down and see your body naturally how it's supposed to be, you're fat.
Bro, it's not just that you're fat. It's that I mean, I don't understand like what we are as people or what your soul is, but I think it's safe to assume this is your shot as a human being walking on Earth in this form.
Before you die, yep.
Right? We get one shot.
Your only shot.
And so you have to understand that, I mean, one of you guys references earlier, like this is the vessel that I was brought into the universe with. Mm-hmm. Am I going to just completely neglect it and have this experience go to shit? Or can I implement a little discipline? Can I take care of myself and have endless opportunities?
Dude, when I see like obese people, like I just see laziness.
Oh, it's because you see what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
And like lack of control, lack of discipline, and pure laziness. That's all I see. Like I'm sure there's obese people that are fucking ultra successful and blah.
You
blah,
know what
blah.
does fuck with my head is thinking.
You don't have my respect.
Yeah, but thinking about like, okay, it happens to us every now and then. Maybe we fall slightly off the path, right? And we're like, oh shit, I look in the mirror, I'm a little bit pudgy. What the fuck is wrong with me? Right?
Yeah.
Well, why is it that it's something in our brains that we see that it stops us in our track? But some people never get that notification, right? They don't look in the mirror and notice. They don't. I mean, there's no outside source saying,
wrong.
"Hey,
It's accountability.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
They
It's like-
get the notification. They're not happy with who they are.
They ignore it.
They just don't want to put the effort in to change it.
They don't hold themselves
Don't you think?
accountable. But
no,
you know,
well, that's what I'm questioning. Is because sometimes is it the ignorance of actually not knowing, right?
No, because I've thought about this before, and it's like if there's a button on this table, right, and it's like, hey, if I push this button, I'm going to be 5% body fat. Okay, you can be. Let's say you're fucking 10% body fat or 15 or 30 or 40. Let's say people are morbidly obese and that button is there. And if you push it, boom, you lose all your body fat and you're at 5%. 100% of people would push it.
and I'll say
Because
this. I'll say
they
this.
know that they're going to be a better version of themselves after they push that button. But the result to get yourself from where you're at to where that button is as long and it's arduous and people are too fucking lazy.
And I'll say this. You absolutely would push that button because he did push that button on his phone today to pull up a picture of himself from 2 years ago to try to win a contest.
I'm not a narcissistic prick and don't take pictures of myself every day like you motherfucker.
And he won.
And I fucking won.
He did
They love
win.
me.
It was a lie.
It's okay.
Like Joe Biden.
So let's unpack it real quick because we were drinking.
We were.
And I'm still drinking, and I don't drink very much, so this is actually more fun.
I love John
than
Greg.
I remember.
It's the best.
But we each pulled up a picture of us
no,
being
I
fucking.
didn't pull up a picture.
No,
you pulled up.
You pulled up the picture.
No, and here's why. He got the picture of me because he says, Vic,
This
do you
was
have a
yours.
picture of you
Yeah.
like
This
that?
was
Like, all right,
Greg's.
thank you.
I pulled up a bunch of pictures of each one of us. And bro, I didn't try and do you guys dirty. I brought up the most jacked, savage pictures of us.
Hold on. No, you did not.
You looked great in that picture.
It's because
No
I
homo.
look great. Okay? Lapin and I didn't get a say in
I don't
this.
even know what picture it was.
Yeah, we didn't get
Yeah,
a say in this. We were just enjoying our
Here's
meals.
the thing. That's my point.
And
The-
you two were trying to feed your egos.
the only,
eating ice
no,
cream,
hang on, hang on.
We
the
were-
only
we were
reason I don't
enjoying-
say is because I don't have
Oh, it's not even a good picture of it.
Yeah, dude,
Bro,
that's
you're
not even a good
You're
picture.
working.
Bro, that's not even a
You're
good
six
picture.
packs out
Saving.
looking
You're
sexy.
saving
Dude,
your
the picture
community.
you posted the other day
You're
on
saving
Instagram
your
is better than
community.
that.
Look
Yeah,
at that
dude.
fucking smile. You're good.
You're happy and you're saving
not
your
even a good
community.
picture.
Look at these
Dude.
liars over here,
Listen,
dude.
let me just unpack it real quick.
dude,
They
we
just
were
know that we're
sabotaged,
more
Mitch.
handsome.
They
Mitch,
love
we're
Latinos.
sabotaged,
Let's put
bro.
it that way. Hang on. They love Latinos. Let's just throw it
You're
out there.
not Latino. You're white.
So we were
Taking
drinking.
away your Latino.
I actually think it's because me and Lapin are in our 40s, and we just can't compete with you young bucks anymore.
Well, I think
and on that note, I'm taking a hit of Lucifer's lettuce.
I think all three of the girls' parents were only like
Were your
3
guys'
years
age.
or 2 or 3 years older than us.
They thought I was 35. I'm 32.
Almost 33.
That's true.
And once you're 33, you become part of a satanic cult because that number.
I was gonna say
You're done.
Kyle Walter would disagree. Yeah, he said that's Jesus was 33.
Yeah, there you go, dude. What do you show? Oh, you and Bushesha? You want me to use that picture next time?
Show that he's an athlete.
That's the weekend we met, dude. That's the
fun,
weekend
dude.
when the
That's
Greg and
crazy.
Greg show became reality.
That's right, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, you cheated in that contest.
He cheated.
You
one
you
picture
were an
like that.
accomplice though.
Yeah, a little bit, dude, but that's because he's my homie, dude.
I had no say in that.
All right, so we're already at 2 hours and 12 minutes.
And it's been fucking rad.
this is a
by the
fun
way.
episode,
It's
right?
been fucking fun.
We're not turning it off.
Stop podcast when you're fucking having good conversation with people too short sometimes.
Don't tell me what to do.
No, I'm saying
tell me how to podcast.
No. All I'm saying is I want more of it, right? Like
He's a fan
we've
of your
hit-
podcast.
yeah.
He's giving
Well,
you
I'll
some
tell you
feedback.
You hit that 1 2 hour mark. You're like, oh, we gotta stop.
Well, sometimes he has conversations. Sometimes he has conversations with people, and he's just like, "All right, I've had enough."
I need to get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
the last Mitch and Greg show.
No, it's 'cause we
Was
were
it not
tired.
good?
Bro, it was like 3
Was
in the
it good
morning.
or no?
I was good.
Bro, I
I'm fucking
listened
with
to
you.
it on a road trip
It was
that I had to
great.
go to. I was on this road trip and I was listening to you guys, and I was like, dude, I was in my car laughing out loud by myself and go, this is fucking rad. How fucking high are you guys? When you started
So
talking
high.
when you started talking about
there's so
ants
much in here. You gotta
and how
finish.
ants had their own like world and solar system.
Bro,
and
That's
shit.
real. That's real.
I don't even remember.
I don't
See Men in
disagree.
Black 2
I
at
don't
the end, the
disagree.
locker?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
all
remember
good.
our conversation at all.
Bro, so let me say
You
this.
told a
then.
story about the first time you ever had an animal killed in front of you or something. It was at like your granddad's place or something. I think it was
no idea.
it was a mouse
Listen.
or a rat or something. You felt really bad.
So let me tell you this.
Oh, when I protested the mouse.
that's it. Yeah, you protested the mouse.
So coming
But it
down
was a rad episode, dude.
coming down here this weekend.
Greg and I just talked about
Yeah,
this.
we were
were
just
like,
talking about
was
this because
was
coming
that a
down
good
here this
episode or
weekend,
not?
I told Mitch, I said, hey, on Sunday morning, we might go shoot some pigs, right? And Mitch goes, I don't want to shoot pigs. And I said, well, I'm going to eat them, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't want to shoot an animal unless I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, we
Right.
were gonna process it and get.
And so we were going to process it.
I don't shoot animals unless I eat them.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but
that's
bro,
weird to me.
and he
Yeah.
goes, dude, I like saving animals, right? And obviously Mitch eats meat, so there's an understanding.
Me too.
If I'm going, and that's what I said, I eat meat, so if I am comfortable consuming an animal, I almost said human being. You hear that?
Eat their
We
fucking
eat
souls.
their ass. That's
Tomato.
it.
Hey,
Tomato.
If I'm comfortable eating an animal, I have to be comfortable killing it.
Take one's life.
And I don't know if comfortable is the right word, but maybe
I think
willing.
it's comfortable.
Willing.
Circle of life, man. Everyone
There's got to
seems
be
lying.
there's
It's fine.
mutual
I
respect.
have an understanding. And bro, you're like, just tell the story. Dude, I hit a seagull last week or whatever.
I have a picture. I sent you a picture of
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I was driving out of the fucking pet store. I went there to get some like fish food or something, or a fish heater for my tank. And these seagulls like flew in front of my truck, and I have this like, you know, apocalypse bumper, which I totally copied Greg. And I was,
good, man. It makes me happy.
After I went and like
As long as you don't have
visited
predator
Greg for the
steps.
first time,
He's
and he
got
let me
predator
borrow
steps.
his truck.
Yeah.
It was he has a fucking Chevy Silverado 250 or 2500 diesel
ass
truck
fucking
with the
front bumper
apocalypse
on it,
bumper
yeah.
on it and shit. And I was like driving that around. I was like, I feel like I could just plow through traffic if I needed to.
Yes,
I was
you
like,
could.
You
I
could.
fucking love this shit. And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm gonna get a fucking diesel truck with a fucking metal apocalypse
That was when
bumper.
the bromance was just starting,
Yeah.
dude.
And I did.
What'd you get? Ranch hand?
I got a 2022 F250.
No, the bumper. What'd you get with the
6.7 liter diesel with a
The tremor package. You got the tremor package.
that's
Yeah,
right.
fuck. You gotta
Bought
say
my dad
you gotta,
the exact
You
same
gotta say
truck.
tremor package, bro. But what bumper?
It's not a ranch hand. It's actually I'm buying my dad the same
What bumper do
exact
you have on
fucking
your
bumper.
truck?
Bro, my truck.
It's a back
I
road
bought my truck
products.
from a rancher in
Oh, so
Utah.
it's like a custom built. Yeah.
So he literally is like, this is a literal cattle guard for my truck.
Yeah, nice. Fuck yeah.
You know?
Needed then.
And,
Yeah.
and just so you know, it might be built for cattle. I've pitted
works for
several
people.
cars
Oh,
with
yeah,
it.
it works.
Push
Oh,
those
right on
fucking
humans?
cars
Yeah.
out of
I,
the meth
I
heads.
had meth heads come on my property, and I rammed them, and I literally just, this car's, and it was a BMW. It was like a nice car. Sideways, I T-boned it and just pushed it right up the street.
in the middle of the road.
And my wife was with me, and I was kind of laughing. I'm like, I literally can't even feel this car.
Yeah.
Like
That's
those trucks
amazing.
are designed to pull like 22,000
yeah,
pounds,
crazy,
right?
dude.
And
My
it's
truck
like,
has over 1,000 pounds of torque.
they do exactly
Jesus Christ.
what they're fucking designed to do,
yeah.
and it's awesome.
And
Yeah.
they hit seagulls apparently. So go ahead.
So I have this on my truck and whatever, and I'm going like 10 miles an hour in the parking lot of PetSmart, and these fucking two seagulls fly in front of my truck and then disappear, you know. And I was like, oh shit, and I was like, maybe, you know, they came pretty close to me. So I look in my mirror, and there's a fucking seagull like on its back, and I'm like, oh fuck. So I park and I go over to this fucking seagull, and he's like in the middle of the fucking road, like laying on his back, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know if he must have flew into my guard or something or what, because like if my tire ran over the thing, it would have
You'd be smushed.
exploded.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he must have just got the shit knocked out of him or something, you know? So I like pick this fucking seagull up, and he's like biting my thumbs and like fucking freaking out.
Motherfucker, I'm trying to save
I'm like, I'm
you.
trying to save you. And I go into fucking PetSmart because there's a Banfield Pet Hospital. And I go up there, and I was like, I'm holding this fucking seagull, and it's like biting my fucking thumbs. And I'm like, hey, I hit this seagull, I think. I'm like, do you have anything? Can you do anything to like help it? And they're like, no, we can't. And I was like, I fucking hate vets, dude. They
Yeah.
don't give a fuck about animals. They
No.
just care about money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they take advantage of people, like, you know,
Whoa,
because
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Sure.
Wait,
They
you took
totally
it into
do.
a vet?
a vet
I
hospital.
thought you took it into PetSmart.
There is a there's Banfield Pet Hospital is inside of
it.
PetSmart.
And they're
Greg,
like,
there's fucking PetSmarts in Seattle, okay?
and they're like, fuck your
Yeah.
bird, huh?
And they were like, we don't do anything for that. And I was like, well, can you at least like call animal
you
control?
euthanize it or something like
No,
that?
no, no.
Yeah,
I was
just kill it
like, can you
nicely.
call fucking? Well, after he stopped biting me, he was like, you know, we were like bonding.
We're building something. Yeah.
We were bonding, and I'm like,
This seagull's still at Mitch's house right now.
hey, the seagull stunk, bro. And like, I'm like, can you do anything or whatever? Can you call animal control or whatever? And they're like, no, we can't do anything.
Potty break.
And I was like, you motherfuckers.
So what did you say? Did you say, do you want me to leave this seagull on your front fucking desk?
There was
Like,
a customer right there that was like, oh, that's so nice of you to like whatever, you know, try and help it. And they called like the animal control. And I'm like, I'll be outside waiting. You know? So I'm fucking sitting outside like a crazy homeless person with my fucking pet seagull.
Holy shit.
And like it's cool with me at this point. It's not biting me anymore, and like we're just chilling. And I'm trying to like stand him up, like see if he'll stand up, and he won't stand up. But he's moving his legs so they're like not broken.
Yeah.
And like we like I pull his wings out, and it's like he's flapping his wings, but he's
not
just
going
fucked
anywhere.
up, you know. And I'm like,
sure.
maybe he just got the shit knocked out of him, you know.
Fucking punch drunk.
So then the animal control finally shows up, and and we're looking at it and everything, and I'm like, what are you guys gonna do with it? And they're like, well, we'll have to euthanize it. And I was like thinking, like, the bird's like, it doesn't need euthanized. It's like, it's my buddy now, And I'm like, I really don't want to fucking.
Did you name the seagull?
No.
Okay.
But I'm like, I don't want to like take care of this fucking bird, either. But I'm like, is there any like kind of wildlife fucking
bird sanctuary?
Yeah, and they were like, yeah, there's a wildlife rehabilitation center, and they called them, and they were like, yeah, we'll take the bird. And I was like, all right, cool. Can you bring the bird? And they were like, yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. So I gave them the bird, and they put it in a cage and brought it,
That's cool, man.
And the bird lived forever.
That's fucking right.
Hopefully the bird
dead right
lived.
now.
I'm in my head, the bird made a
Will
full
live.
recovery.
Dude, Frank is flying
made a
out there in
full
the sky.
recovery and
I'm gonna
is
name it
living
Frank.
a great life.
Bro, so my last gym, the first location we were in, we had like a back door to an alley,
But
like a
I
drive-through
sent
alleyway.
Greg a picture of me holding
holding the
the seagull, and he was like, and I told him what happened. He's like,
bro,
fucking
what the
violent.
fuck, man?
He's-
Violent hippie.
That
was recent.
It happened like last week.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I have the picture. I'll pull it up.
Violent
And
hippie.
Yeah, and Greg's like, fucking violent hippie, bro.
hippie. I love
Yeah. And bro, like, if anyone takes pride
Greg knows me very well.
in hurting another creature for no
Innocently,
reason.
yeah, I was
Unless
gonna
it's
say,
human.
Yeah.
Unless
no,
it's a
no,
human.
there's
Oh my God.
terrible.
Seagull.
There's terrible fucking human
got the
beings.
Yeah, there are
socket.
some
We need-
fucking terrible
I hate
humans.
human beings more than animals.
100%.
I'd rather kill a human being
100 fucking percent.
100 times.
Have you guys seen Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great show. But same thing. I'd rather shoot 1,000 humans than a horse. This guy in the character.
Yeah.
He had to kill another one, broke its ankle. Yeah.
No.
Sucked, dude.
Have you talked about the project that, we're involved with, more so you, but the project
Spit it out.
that
the
you've
book.
been working on?
The book.
Oh, our book.
The Ukbe.
Yeah, no. So I say,
I wasn't going to put you in.
have you talked about they Ukbe? No. So I am, and I'm probably
I didn't know if you wanted to or not.
no. I do want.
got
to. I do
along
want
with
to.
it. Okay.
I'm
Accountability.
probably halfway through it, and on the flight tomorrow, I'll get another chunk of it done.
We need to sit down and I know this is your thing, but like I want to contribute.
You
Yeah,
gotta finish
bro.
your chapter.
So, bro, no,
I already did.
No. We're gonna. This is gonna be a series.
Series, yeah.
So let me say, I'm writing a children's book, and it is literally titled "The Endless Adventures of Greg and Mitch," and it depicts us as young boys. We're in the 3rd grade. We're 9 years old, and we go on
Huge dicks.
and we go
They're
on
already eating ass.
We go on an adventure of sailing the world. And when we start to sail the world, and we don't sail the world on our own, we go out on this little boat and a big fucking storm hits and we get sucked out to sea. And guess what? Now you have a lot of shit to deal with. There's adversity. There's you're going hungry. There's not water. We face pirates. We fight. And the thing is, it's
Dude, wait. Do you guys know jujitsu in this book?
of course we know jujitsu. We train jujitsu.
In one version,
Yeah.
this is the story.
But I
Don't give
think it's-
away the Mitch ending yet.
Yeah, no.
So Mitch,
I'm gonna have Greg
Mitch
read.
wants alternate adult endings because this is a children's book, right? And Mitch is like, I sent him like a chapter that I wrote.
I'm gonna have Greg
And then
Lapin. I'm gonna have Greg Lapin read it for the first time.
Mitch rewrote it and sent it back to me, and it was like
An alternate ending.
XXX version.
Oh, Jesus
which is
Christ.
awesome, right?
For sure. Yeah, just not
But so-
not P.
Yeah, so he's like, hey, every
It's the teenage version.
kid's book that you write, I should release the fucking like XXX edition that accompanies it, as long as it doesn't get back to the children.
For sure.
But no, it's fun, man. It's fun because when I
what
was
the
a
youth need
child,
right now.
and you guys are one generation underneath me, so
Yeah, we're
tell
the same
me,
gen- he's a millennial too.
Have you guys? When I was a kid, every cartoon in the morning was dudes getting fucked up. It was He-Man,
Yeah.
Thundercats,
All that.
G.I. Joe.
I watched all that
Just
same
a
shit.
bunch of
Yeah.
dudes getting fucked up. And it was like teaching about fighting and winning. I don't know if you guys have watched, because I got little kids.
I watched all that shit. Thundercats, or the stuff you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched all that when I was younger.
The generation of kids today.
I was gonna say, do I get to read it?
Yes.
Every single fucking show on television now, every book is about being weak. It's like Caillou and Dora and Timu Mizumi.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And it's a bunch of fucking characters that are being pussies.
Yes, agreed. 100%.
And it's like, I know Jocko did The Way of the Warrior Kid, and I think those books are cool.
The first book I read with my kids. And
my girls have read those, and I'm like, I want to contribute something to society that teaches kids that grit is a good thing, being tough is a good thing, also facing adversity
is a fucking good
is
thing.
a good thing, going hungry, or obtaining some basic survival skills. Like these boys in my book, like, run out of water and they use a tarp to collect rain. Like, that's not a fucking like abstract idea, but if a young kid's never thought of that, that might be something that doesn't even come into their mind, right?
Fuck yeah.
So it's like a survival mindset, a winning mindset. And for some reason, that's like poo-pooed on these days, right?
It's really, and we talked about this during Hurricane Ida, right? Mm-hmm. I have a whole house generator that's on natural gas. Power goes off, boom, thing kicks up, my whole house fucking runs, no issues. Hurricane Ida happened. I went to Pans, left my wife and kids at the house, and my fucking generator broke. No power to the house at all. I gotta go home. Right, I know, right? I gotta go home and take care of my family. Well, during the hurricane, we were without power for just short of 2 weeks. And during the hurricane, you know, I grabbed my son Jackson and I said, hey, dude, I need your help. We got to go out and service the generators, because I had 2 little portable generators that were running specific things, about a little window unit, the refrigerator, you know, stuff like that. And it was midday and it was hot out. I said, hey, dude, we got to service the generators. And he's like, do we have to? I said, no, we don't have to. I said, do you want to eat dinner tonight?
Or do you want to go hungry?
And he goes, well, yeah. I said, well, look, if we don't keep the generators running, they're going to fail, and the refrigerator's not going to run, and all our food and meat's going to spoil. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, do you want to sleep well tonight in the bedroom with us? Because we had a little futon on the floor with them to sleep in the back room with a window. I said, do you want to sleep in the AC tonight, or do you want to sweat your ass off sleeping? Well, no, I want to sleep back with you guys in the AC. I said, well, cool. If the generators break, the AC doesn't run. So no, we don't have to go work on them. We don't have to do an oil change. We don't have to fucking, you know, get them all set, fill them with gas, the whole 9 yards, service them. I said, but that's what's going to happen. We're not going to eat tonight, and we're going to sleep in the fucking heat. I was like, all right, Dad, let's go do this. You know, like, but that's like a lesson, like you said, like adversity and like consequences. The same thing I told you when I checked him out of school and took him on a flight with me. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's consequences.
Are we going to read this thing now?
Yeah, I want to read it.
Let's read
like
this
I'm
shit.
fired up.
We're not going to read it.
No?
What?
On the air. You want to read it on the
fuck
air?
yeah,
No,
dude.
his ending.
I'm an amazing orator.
His adults are listening to this.
I don't want
I don't want
little
the
thing.
story out there.
Can I
This
do
is
one
just
little thing?
a sample.
One little thing. One little
thing.
clip.
Like,
Less
go
than a
ahead.
paragraph.
I'm an
Hit that
amazing
shit.
orator.
Are you?
Did you
Oh,
not sit
fucking
that for
amazing.
So
orator.
when my book goes to audible.com,
I will do the audio for you.
You're going to read it?
Fuck yeah, dude.
So for
I'll be Mitch, you can be Greg.
I'm an amazing orator.
So Greg is writing this story and has not involved me at all.
But your mom's going to do the illustrations for me.
Yeah. Even though I wanted to be involved. But Greg just sent me a a picture of his computer screen, and it was like the beginning of this tale of, you know, Greg and Mitch on this adventure or whatever, like he described. And it's just like maybe 2 paragraphs or something, and it just kind of paints the picture of like the scenario or whatever. And he sent this in a screenshot, or, you know, just a picture to me over text message, and, you know, just to show me that he's working on it, you know. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, love it. And then I just started texting and didn't stop for an hour. And then I ended up writing this message. Hold it, selfie. And I wrote him this text message here. which is pretty long or whatever. And Greg's response was, I think this is the best fucking text message I've ever received in my entire life. LOL. So I'll let Greg Lapin read it. So you can just read this part, which is Greg Anderson's story, and then where Mitch takes over from there.
Roger that.
And this is...
Do you know the name of the book
You have never
yet?
read
Hang on, do you know the name of the book?
Nothing.
Greg and Mitch's Endless Adventure.
I haven't read any of them.
Love it.
And you haven't heard these, so just
not
Greg
yet.
and I know these.
Yeah.
All right, the boys were ecstatic and shook the old man's hand and said, "Sir, you have a deal." The old man then stepped off the boat and said, "I'll see you tomorrow. Have fun, boys. Treat her well," as he strolled away down the dock. I told you I'm a fucking amazing
I'm
orator.
digging this.
Yeah.
I'm digging
The boys
this.
couldn't believe it.
I'm gonna get high.
The adventure they had wished for was here. The boy grabbed a rope and tied the vessel and hopped aboard and headed towards the open ocean. As the sun started to go down, the wind picked up and the waves grew in size. The heavy rain began and the boys retreated into the cabin and crawled into the bunks. Whoosh! The boys were suddenly awakened. Whoosh! The next thing they knew, massive waves were coming over the bow of the boat. They both jumped to their feet and moved towards the back of the cabin. The storm looked to be engulfing the entire vessel as they watched in horror through the back windows. A gargantuan wave crashed down over the deck and swept everything off the boat in a single moment. The boys watched the refrigerator slide all the way across the deck. It toppled over the edge and plummeted into the dark waters below. All the food on the boat that was stored inside of the refrigerator in a moment was gone. Greg and Mitch felt afraid because there was nothing they could do to help the situation. They knew the only option was to remain calm, say a prayer, and ride out the storm. And that's what they did. It seemed like an eternity waiting for the wind to stop and the seas to die down. They crawled back into their bunks and decided to try to get some sleep with the hopes the next day would bring calmer seas. Mitch awoke the next morning as the sun rose and shined into the cabin. Mitch shook Greg awake and said, "Come outside, you need to see this." The boys walked onto the back deck, and as far as the eye could see, the water in every direction. Winds were calm, and the seas looked like glass, perfectly flat. With no food, no phones, and no idea where they were, the boys realized they had found themselves in a difficult and dangerous situation. They turned to each other and both said out loud, "What are we going to do now?"
So that
I'm a phenomenal author.
and Greg Lapin is a phenomenal.
God, either I'm a phenomenal author
bro.
or Greg Lapin can read the shit out of
Has
stuff.
to do the audiobook. That was fucking impressive.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So now
Goosebumps. I want to know the fucking rest of the story.
So this is what Greg sent me in a picture of his computer screen. He had sent.
Okay, so that was all Anderson's
That was
writing.
all Greg Anderson, and I had read that, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I love it." And then I just started texting like in response, and I ended up just texting for an hour straight. And this is what I sent Greg.
Suddenly, Mitch remembered he had brought 2 jugs of smashing greens in his backpack. Greg and Mitch would now have to survive the rest of their journey solely on the greens. Luckily, this wasn't their first rodeo when it came to fasting, and they knew it would be hard, but not impossible. They knew that no amount of bitching would bring the fridge back, so they decided to shift their focus towards being grateful that at least they had the greens, sunshine, and a sweet boat. Their boat had been drifting along the water for 10 days and hadn't seen another boat, but they remained calm. Greg and Mitch were doing push-ups on the deck of the boat to pass the time. Mitch said to Greg jokingly, "If we do die out here, at least we'll be shredded and tan." They both laughed. Greg and Mitch always tried to find the humor in shitty situations. Suddenly, Greg's face turned smiling and with laughter and an intense squint. "I see an island," he shouted. "No way," Mitch replied in disbelief. Mitch squinted intently in the same direction as Greg and also saw the island. It looked to be a mile or so away. The two looked at each other with a mix of hope, uncertainty, and anxiety. They knew they would have to swim to the island to survive, but they also knew the waters were infested with hungry sharks. They looked at each other a second time and simultaneously yelled, "Don't be a pussy," and jumped in. They swam as hard and as fast as they could out of fear of being torn to shreds. They reached the shore and were exhausted yet ecstatic to be on dry land. Greg gave Mitch a high five and shouted, "That was fucking rad."
Holy shit.
Suddenly, out of the foliage, a group of 20 beautiful women appeared and ran over to the boys. "Are you guys okay?" the women asked. "Of course we are," the boys replied. Mitch then asked the women, "What are you ladies doing on this small island in the middle of nowhere?" One of the women replied, "We were tired of being surrounded by pussy dick beta men."
You're an excellent writer, Mitch.
So we decided to come to this deserted island to live out the rest of our days. Greg and Mitch looked at each other and grinned. What's up? The women then asked Greg and Mitch to show how they got to the island. The boys stood tall with their tan, chiseled muscles glistening in the sun and told the women of their epic journey and adversity they had just overcome. The beautiful women were overcome with excitement and joy and deemed Greg and Mitch worthy kings of the island and insisted they stay.
You wrote this?
They insisted they stay on the island and spread their seed amongst them.
Yes.
Greg and Mitch accepted the beautiful women's invitation and lived out the rest of their days as kings of the island of hot chicks. The end. Bro, that was fucking rad,
Greg
dude.
and Mitch show, bro. That was fucking epic.
I'll tell you this though. If you text one of your homies a little paragraph of a story that Eve wrote,
And then I said, based on a true story.
and you don't get a respond like that, you got the wrong fucking
Yeah,
friends.
bro. That was fucking epic. Oh my god. That was wonderful.
Bro,
Did we hit everything?
I was just
No,
texting.
I'm close.
Dude,
I was just texting Greg like
Just
that.
going, you just
Dude,
fucking-
just texting. That was literally just
How
a text
fucking high were
response.
you?
I was dying laughing, and I
that's
was just
great.
typing this shit and just laughing. And then like I could have kept going for hours, but it was like,
So-
man, I've been doing this for an hour. I need to just
And now
wrap
that
it
they're
up.
on the island, I have to wrap it up.
Yeah,
Because it would
I
get more vulgar.
It was when I got to the boat, and like I wanted to make it even longer, but I was like, I gotta wrap this up. I've been down here
And the
for an
last
hour.
question from the beautiful women were to the boys were, "Boys, have you ever eaten ass?"
Have you ever devoured vagina like it's the most
best
delicious dessert on planet Earth?
The boys replied, "This ain't our first rodeo."
Well, they were only 9, so it was not their first rodeo.
Oh man,
That's fucking hilarious.
That was
dude.
good, man. That was great writing. I was like into the fucking story.
Right,
I was
you're
like, what
there.
the fuck is next?
You're
oh my
there.
god, yeah. That
All
was
right,
good.
so I released the children's version. You released the altered
alternate ending.
adult version.
Yeah,
you gotta
I
start
like it,
competing.
dude.
Jocko's 10 books.
I'll
Where you
rate
at?
it for you.
And Lapin will be our audible.com.
yeah.
That's awesome.
You know what's funny, bro? Because my wife has been telling me, she's like, you should do 2 podcasts a week. One should be for your adult audience, and you should do one for kids that is geared towards all the stuff that we talk about as far as like just leadership, being a better human being, taking care of your body, on and on and on, right? But release something that is
PG.
PG,
Yeah.
right? And then my fucking daughter comes home from school and she goes, "Oh, Mike, there's a lot of girls at school know that my dad's a podcaster and they listen to all your stuff." And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And so, bro, at first I'm like, there's a bunch of 12-year-old girls listening to my show.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, you know what? That's their fucking problem. Like, I can't change my message and who
Dude,
I am.
that's how I am with the Mitch show.
You know,
Like,
yeah, exactly. Right?
Welcome to the
It's
Mitch
like,
I can't control who fucking listens to
Yeah.
this. Fuck
No, dude,
That's
so
not
I
my
was like-
problem.
They have access to YouTube. It's not that we're worried about them getting access to your
And the
podcast.
funniest
Like,
thing
yeah,
is,
like,
the funniest thing is, whenever you and I are on the phone, and we always FaceTime. Like
It's the
I
best.
always fucking FaceTime. We always FaceTime, and you know, Casey will be like, "Hey, where's your dad?" To Gemma. "Oh, he's outside talking to Mr. Greg, saying they're saying really bad words a lot."
bro, my favorite FaceTime story with Lapin is, bro, we were FaceTiming and I had to take a shit. That, like, And I didn't even like register it
I
as like,
FaceTimed with you, shitting.
Fuck yeah, bro.
That's the wait. Hang on.
Listen.
That's the norm.
No, but
what do you mean?
listen.
You could FaceTime your friends while you're
But I
shitting.
FaceTime
It's
while
fine.
I'm taking a salt bath.
It's not like
with
we're
a whiskey.
looking. I'm pointing the camera at my shit.
Yeah.
Right,
I
so
can look
bro,
at you and then my dick
but
can back
listen.
up. And then,
I didn't even think of something as like, oh, I'm shitting while I'm FaceTiming a friend. Like,
Yeah,
whatever,
whatever.
right? Fucking sitting there talking, whatever, flush and walk out. And my wife, Jenny's standing there. And she was fucking appalled. She's like, you're FaceTiming your friend while you're shitting, dude?
it's a fucking norm. Yes, I absolutely am.
But apparently that's not, I guess that's not a girl thing. Or maybe that's just not.
Clearly not.
Maybe that's not a Jenny thing. But it just shows how different we are as fucking men and women.
Bro.
I didn't even register it as like a thing.
Dude, I FaceTime.
And to her, the second she saw it, she was appalled, dude.
Bro, men
we
shit, we have the most time on our phone. FaceTime one of my best friends, Paulie. He's on the East Coast at Johns Hopkins. Every time I'm shitting, dude, what are you doing? It's all good. Flush. Okay, cool. Good to catch up. Talk to you later.
Bro, when we FaceTimed the other night, right, and I was in the bathroom and I had no shirt on, we were FaceTiming. Mama and I were getting ready to get in the bath, right? We were spending some time together. We're getting ready to get in a little bath together. And she's standing right on the other side of the phone.
Whoa, you
and she's
bathed
like,
with your woman?
bro, we fucking spend some time together, dude.
I need to bathe.
I invest
need to
in my
bathe.
woman.
I feel like a
knows what's
failure
up.
right now.
Bro, I
dude.
invest in my woman. Yeah.
I mean, I know you do.
Yeah,
but I
like
didn't know
some
you're
time
taking
together.
baths.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I said you need to have relations with your black belt on.
yeah, dude.
yeah, that's right, dude.
Yeah, it'll happen.
I haven't done, so maybe I need to have relations
You're
with my
way
black
late
belt
to the
on.
party.
But yeah, we're FaceTiming. Mama's completely naked on the other side of the phone right there. And I'm talking to you. I'm like, hey, hold on, let me flip the phone for real quick. And she's like, what are you doing? She's like, you're FaceTime. I'm like, he can't fucking see you. He's facing me.
Bro, show me next time.
Little flip
Yeah,
switch.
just a quick flip.
All right, little
just a quick flip.
But he would give you like a heads up, like, you know, like a shh.
Okay.
And then just like flip the
Three,
camera and
two,
flip it
one.
back.
How are you? Great to see you, buddy.
And I'll do the same for you.
Of course, I know you would. Absolutely.
That's just common courtesy.
It was common courtesy.
What else is on the
Dude,
agenda?
we're at 2:41.
We got 20.
I cut the show off at 3 hours.
No, you don't.
Oh,
we
yes,
talked
I do.
about this already. If a fucking dude, stop. If a show is going well,
Almost all of our podcasts have gone 3 hours.
I know, but I cut them at 3 hours for production purposes.
oh, because of production purposes. What? Continue.
Bro, are you going to produce the show and release
Bro.
it?
So we're
I can.
arguing about 19 minutes
I
right
can.
now.
Yeah, just relax.
I can.
There are two human beings that have kind of consumed the weekend, dude.
Huh?
As far as conversation, like,
Oh, I've been quiet.
well, me and Mitch have talked about the Liver King
Hello, primals.
in depth, dude. In
Morning,
depth.
Primals.
Good morning, Primals. Get the sun on your face through the eyes on the skin.
Throw your eyes to the face on the skin so you can set up your best sleep so you can live your best life and live your best week so you can,
What did you say about his feet on the ground on the earth?
ground.
Yeah,
Connect
that's
your
right.
feet to the ground.
Get it
bro.
Grounded.
So
So
if you're
being
not-
grounded is
I'm
If
a
you're
real
not
thing.
following
I
Liver
dig it.
King, Liver Queen, if you're not following Liver King, go follow him because he's fucking awesome.
I'm a fan of Liver King.
But I love what you said yesterday. You're like, for a guy to storm on the scene, what, a month, maybe a month ago?
2 months.
Two
2
and a half
months.
months.
Okay. And go from, and I started following him at like 30,000 followers too.
Likewise, same.
Like I came across his
Hey,
profile. I'm like,
hang on. We're all
who's
we're all
this?
full right now.
Who's this jacked,
My brother's
crazy motherfucker, dude? And so I was like, obviously, he's a fitness guy. He's jacked. He's a savage. He eats clean foods. I'm gonna follow him. What's up with him? You know?
Yeah.
And fucking
Jacked.
jacked,
Shredded,
strong.
yeah.
So everybody's like, "Oh, he's on steroids. He's on steroids."
Oh, yeah.
And bro,
Whatever.
I don't care. First of all, I don't care what he's on. He's probably on the same steroids I'm on. I don't give a shit. Like if you were,
Yours aren't working.
bro, well, that's because I take 1 milliliter of testosterone a week.
Of Cypionate.
Yeah, bro. And if people fucking like want to fucking come up with a bunch of bullshit,
Say it to my face.
come say it to my face. But bro,
Bro, you roid raging right
you
now?
look
It's
at
the roid
fucking
rage.
Liver King, and
It's just dedication.
it's dedication.
It's fucking
And-
crazy discipline that 99.9% of people will
Don't have.
never
I
understand.
don't fucking have it.
And
I don't have.
he's on it or he's not on it. he's still that fucking
savage
disciplined
anyway.
savage. That's
I will
why I don't
pay
care.
for anyone out there's steroids for fucking 2 years, and if you don't look like Liver King, you have to kill yourself.
Yeah. No, that's right, dude. Because you're not going to be that guy with steroids.
No.
You're going to be that guy if you take steroids, if you eat the cleanest fucking foods,
Work
if you
out
never
twice
cheat,
a day,
and you
don't deviate at all.
and you're the most disciplined motherfucker in the universe, you might look like that, right?
Bro, he looks like a Spartan.
And so it's bizarre
and
to
that's
me.
awesome.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's bizarre to me that people listen to his message, see his physique, and want to hate on him. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? There's a million people you could hate on, and you want to hate on the guy that's a savage.
People want to hate on anything that they can't achieve.
Jealousy.
Yes. They hate us because they ain't us.
And you should just look at him and like be like, I'm slacking.
Hey,
Exactly right.
hang on,
That's
hang on,
what it
hang on,
does
hang
for
on.
me.
My only controversial opinion about Liver King, he's not a fucking black belt.
He's
Yeah, I
a
got my black
long-winded
belt.
white
He got his
belt.
black belt today.
He's a long-winded white belt for sure. But
You know what though? Liver King, every day Liver King says, my win of the day, right? And he talks about his win of the day. And his win of the day, I don't know, this was like 2 or 3 days ago. He's like, my son asked me if he could skip jiu-jitsu practice. And my win of the day is the opportunity to tell him absolutely not. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's pretty fucking.
That's gangster.
That,
Like,
right?
No,
You know what I mean?
Come here, my little primal.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn today. You can't
Liver
skip
boy.
jujitsu.
Yeah.
Liver boy.
He goes, my win of the day was the opportunity to tell Liver Boy, you don't skip jiu-jitsu practice. You don't take the easy path. We take the hard path every day.
My only negative thing, if I had to pick one with Liver King, is that he constantly refers to himself in the third person in text.
Which is also fucking hilarious. Liver King here.
No, I don't even care about that. Like, that's kind of normal. Like, Liver
A lot
King
of
here,
people do that.
blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, that's
you know,
huge, yeah.
like, hey, Smash and Frog here. Like, that's not weird. But like when he says Liver King eats this and that, it's either someone else is answering your comments or it's weird if you're saying that.
Oh, yeah. When he's responding to other people.
Like how much liver do you eat a day?
Oh,
Liver
well-
King
well,
eats eight
I
ounces.
eat this many.
No,
Right,
yeah,
it should be.
I eat 8 ounces of Liver King.
Bro, listen.
Or,
Hang on,
I
hang on,
eat
listen.
8 ounces
Hang
of
on. Will
liver.
you get Liver King on the podcast?
I would love to have-
travel to Liver King's house
And set up
Tomorrow.
a portable
Yeah, yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
He's got it now.
If he would
glad he
fucking- if
listened
he
to
would
the
do the
Mexican to
podcast.
fucking get him set up tonight.
Yeah.
Certain people have said, like, you should fight Liver King. And I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah, why?
Bro,
I'm like, why would I fucking fight Liver King?
I'm on the same team as
I'm like,
Liver King,
I like
dude.
Liver King. I'm a fan of Liver King. I like that he's he is authentic.
Yes.
And he is absolutely doing something that no one else is doing, and he's fucking crushing it. Like, he came onto the scene, bursted onto the scene with, and just took over. Like,
Took over,
Took
dude.
over.
Wait,
like,
he got
you know?
an Instagram like 3 months ago.
Bro,
He's
and
got 1 million followers.
I started following him with 30,000 followers like Greg. Like 2.5 months ago,
Yeah.
he's at almost 700,000.
I got to step my game. I got 1,400.
Bro, and like he's
I'm
not
just a Mexican. I
he's
like
not
golf.
talking about politics at all. He's not talking about COVID at all. He's not talking about anything like controversial
that
at all.
draws that.
Nothing
Yeah.
that's gonna get him shadow banned. And like he just came onto the scene with a plan and executed
So, bro,
flawlessly.
I guarantee you,
And I'm just
part
like,
of that plan,
damn.
part of
that
that
doesn't
plan,
make me jealous, even as a supplement
No, it
owner.
makes you think
because
like,
he
wow.
owns a supplement company,
Yeah.
a couple of them, and like I guarantee you, he's doing $1 million a month in sales at least
because of the
because
the
of his
momentum.
flawless fucking execution.
Hang
and
on,
I
we
was
talked
just
about
like,
this. Is he doing $1 million of sales
Easily.
No, hang on. Prior to his explosion on
No.
Instagram? Okay.
which is like weird. It's like he must come from like family generational
who
wealth
knows?
or something.
Who
He's definitely
knows,
got
right?
money.
You
I don't
gotta-
know his story.
you gotta interview
I'm
him.
just
You have
assuming.
to.
I'm 100% assuming.
Tag Liver King.
Bro,
Take a selfie.
when
Tag Liver King.
when you said like he burst on the scene and executed everything flawlessly, that means he had a plan.
Yeah,
he
fuck
this.
yeah.
He had an operations
He
order going
did
into
it
this, right?
great.
And
Dude,
listen, part of
that's
his
why I think he
operations
did it
order,
and it
before the
motivated me.
podcast.
part of his operations order, for reasons that we may not understand, was everything is third person.
It was in the 5 paragraphs.
Oh, fuck yeah, it was.
Listen,
Right?
I don't understand if
White
he is answering those himself or someone else is answering it for him, because which is very possible. You could absolutely hire someone to answer your questions.
Especially that many followers, dude.
Come and that's a big part of owning a supplement company
I want to see what he's at right now.
owning a company is like responding to your your followers or your customers or whatever, and engagement with them. Like that's good for a brand. So, and he absolutely is wealthy and he can hire someone to do it, but I would not be surprised at all if he just blocked out 2 hours a day to answer comments and stuff like that, because it is very clear that he is extremely disciplined.
Yeah, for sure.
Like way more than people that sell discipline and bullshit. He is.
He's at 654,000 followers.
He is disciplined.
Yeah.
He is
like on display.
He lives it.
And like his body is a reflection of that. I don't give a fuck how much steroids you do. You are not going to look like that without extreme fucking discipline. And I'm not talking about some bullshit photos. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm talking about like real life, your body.
Like every day, daily, fucking daily lifestyle.
Not bullshit photos with a fucking, caption.
Do you ever
about
do raw
discipline.
eggs, Mitch?
No, but anything Greg does, I will do one more.
He did 26.
I'll do
I'm gonna do
27.
that. What's the record? Current record?
52.
Pull
No,
challenge.
By Liver King.
No,
Pull-
Liver
pull
King
challenge.
did
Fuck
50.
it.
Oh no.
Pull
51.
I thought he did 50.
Wait,
Pull up,
No,
hanging.
pull
No,
challenge.
there's no. It's not a pull up. It's just a dead hang.
Yeah, dead hang
So
challenge.
I just,
All right,
dude, I did a dead hang last
Last
week,
week he would probably beat us both because he's
little.
lighter.
and he used to be a rock climber, so that's cheating, dude.
That's not cheating,
You
but
got strong hands.
I call it cheating. No, I did a
you're
dead.
better than me. It's cheating.
Mr. Mountaineer. Cheat, yeah.
I did a dead hang
For 203.
I listened to a Rogan podcast with Peter Attia, and he said a huge indicator of like longevity and overall health is
Dead hang.
just a dead hang.
Grip
How
strength.
long can
It's
you?
grip strength.
Yeah, grip strength. How long can you hang from a bar? So I grabbed a bar and I hung for 2 minutes and 2 seconds, and I was like, that was fucking
That
hard.
was 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's 203.
Was it 203?
I thought it was 3 seconds. All I said in my head, I gotta do 204.
All right. So
That's why I did 205.
yeah, so Mitch FaceTimed me with the whole massive fucking crew and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hang from this bar right now and beat you." And like, well, he did by 1 or 2 seconds.
And that was my only goal.
Yeah. But you told me, you're like, but my forearms were fucking dying.
Oh yeah, I wanted to get off the bar. Then I was like, I'm just
I'm not-
determined to
yeah.
do one more second than you.
That's what I said. Well, second he did it. I said, I
And
gotta
I
go do
wanted to
204.
FaceTime him just so he could experience it.
Fucker,
Well, that's
dude.
my plan
But
too.
that's real love.
So now I gotta do 206 or 207.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But you
But
got
that's what real friends do. They push each other.
of course, bro. And so yeah, he
And I
fucking.
fully expect Greg to be like, I'm going for 207.
I'm
or
going,
whatever,
I'm going for 2. I want to do 3 minutes, but that's the thing. It's
I
like,
just want to do more than both of you,
bro,
right
you
now.
know how
I don't care.
some aspects of fitness improve very quickly.
Yeah.
Like for me, swimming. If I swim consistently,
Pull-ups were like that for me.
I make huge gains.
I have a
But
monster
running,
back, though.
running gains are slow
hate
for me.
running, dude.
It's just
fucking
whatever,
hate
right?
Running's for cowards. Bro.
Yeah, running promotes cowardism.
I'm not fucking running from
I've always
shit.
said that. Running promotes cowardice.
I always say you got to be good at one or two things: running or fighting.
Let's go. I'm a great
right.
fighter.
But like, is grip strength one of those things that improves quickly, or is grip strength one of those things that takes a fucking year?
We should have.
But sprinting, fatigue makes cowards of us all. I truly believe that.
Yeah, fatigue's a great equalizer.
And like endurance running, like running for fucking an hour.
Fuck
it's
you.
just so boring.
Bro.
And like, but just doing hard sprints, and doing like a fuckload of them, 20
where
fucking
does
sprints.
jiu-jitsu or wrestling practice land in those in betweens? Because sprint, 100%, right? 100 yards, 50 yards, whatever.
You're way away from your mic.
My bad. Thank you. Sprinting.
Fucking
100%,
rookie.
100
Fucking
yards,
rookie.
50 yards,
So I
right?
actually have kids
Where
on your
does
show.
jiu-jitsu or wrestling practice land in between that? Right? Between
But-
1 hour running or sprinting.
You can totally roll like a bitch, though.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
hang on.
And I
We're
did it.
not rolling like bitches.
I did it today, though.
I roll like a bitch sometimes.
I did it today. I did it today when I'm rolling with the white belts and the blue
But that
belts,
blue
and I
belt
know that
fucked your
I've
lip
got
up.
Lapin coming up, and I'm like rolling with a blue belt in between.
Yeah.
Conserving
I'm
my
not
energy.
rolling fucking like hard as fuck with
Okay,
that
so
guy.
where does it land? Where does jujitsu land?
It's what you put into it. Like,
Towards
and I
sprinting?
know,
Or,
like,
I mean,
I'm
towards
just
the-
chilling. I'm just chilling with this white belt or blue belt or whatever. And I'm just like doing the motions and doing position. But like, I know that like when it comes to Lapin, I'm not doing that.
Or Zach.
Yeah. Or Zach. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm going hard.
Yeah, and with that blue belt. Yeah,
But that's like when you train with guys purely like that.
Yeah.
You know, like today was like a seminar. It's like whatever.
It was
Yeah.
a chill. It was a chill. It wasn't a grind.
But
day,
when
you
I
know,
was like training a lot at a gym, like, you know, my only partners were fucking killers. Was because we were the killers in the gym. So it's
and
like
you could only roll with each other.
so that was
Yeah.
like, you know, when at the end of class when everyone's getting partnered up, we already know who the partner is.
You got 7 people,
It's,
and you
it's
know
me
who
and
you're
Big
rolling
Mike and me and Alexi. That's it. Those were my 2 training partners. Like, you know, and it was a fucking war
yeah.
every time.
Dude, I do think there's something about endurance athletes, though, that's fucking fascinating, dude.
Endurance sports are
Like Cam
without
Hanes?
a doubt they are the mental toughness.
That's what I'm
sports.
saying. A dude that can go run 200 miles.
That's a different level that you
Bro,
can't
I
even
look
fucking
at that
fathom.
human being with fucking envy.
Cameron
Dude,
Haynes.
or-
Cameron Haynes is a ultimate savage. So is David Goggins.
Well, hang on. Or the guy who this year, who broke the fucking 4 hour or
14 peak record.
no 4
He's a savage.
Nims, but he broke the 4 hour mark on a marathon. The dude from Kenya, like
No,
with a
that-
team of guys.
You mean the 2 hour mark?
2 hour mark, excuse me. Yes, 2 hours.
Because I might be able to hit 4 hours.
He
I'm
ran
a fat pussy.
You're right. 2 hours. He broke that shit. 26 miles. What the fuck?
Well, since I thought you were
Must be
going
an
at
extreme coward.
just 26
Great at
miles
running.
He can
of
run away,
cowardice.
dude.
Yeah.
No, dude, I respect that shit. But yeah, also the dude that broke the 8,000 meter peak summit.
If you want to talk
the
about
homie.
extreme cowardice,
is-
talk about all these fucking people pulling guard today.
Bro,
I resemble that remark.
listen, I don't want to. Two things. I don't want to wrestle you because I have in the past.
Bro, I walked to the wall to put my water back, and he goes, "Don't wrestle him. Pull technical guard."
Yep.
I was like, "Bro, I'm
wrestle
no
you, Mitch.
fucking
Let's do
dummy."
that shit.
Greg tried to fucking church it up. Like he was
I did.
like throwing a feint and then pulled
Couple little
guard.
feints. Yeah.
Bro, that's
I
what
set
you
up- I set
do.
up my opposite grip grab, changing my angle. I was like, all right, I'll fake a guard pull to a knee tap a couple of times, maybe a little foot
And
sweep,
then
let him
full
think
guard.
I might wrestle with him, then boom, pull guard. And that's what I fucking did.
So it sounds like his plan worked flawlessly. I'm proud of him, dude.
I was in his guard.
Yeah. And then he passed my guard and subbed me. So you know how that worked for me.
What sub did you get?
Got straight arm lock.
Straight arm bar.
Yeah.
Damn.
Straight arm lock from side control.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. It's funny though because like Greg Anderson was teaching yesterday or today, and he was saying like, you know, if you get two arms against one, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting the submission.
You're like, no, I'm getting the
Because
submission.
you know, you don't know, that guy might be too strong or whatever, and you know, but so you still got to move for the next position or whatever. And like, I was like,
Engage your core.
yeah, I was like, oh yeah. He was talking about pulling it in and
To
like
your
using your
chest,
whole
yeah.
body to fight that arm, because he's like, you know, if you use two arms against, you know, one, if I use it against
yeah.
this guy, he might be able to break that still, but if I engage my whole body, then he won't be able to. And I was like, huh.
At the cop class, I remember that now.
I haven't met that man yet.
Yeah, I was like, I literally tell everyone, if you get two arms against one, you're winning. You're like, you've won. Like, because no one is stopping me if I have two arms against your one.
But on the inverse, no one's stopping you with their
but
2 on
I
1.
didn't think about
That's
like,
what we're
I'm
talking
like,
about.
This is just my perspective. Like every time I've gotten two arms against someone's one, I've beaten them. But that might not be true for you.
Every time someone's got 2 against 1 on you
And I was,
beating it.
but that was again, it was like changed my mind. You know,
you-
changed my
you even-
perspective. I was
you
like,
even came
I
up
should
to
not
me.
tell people that.
Yeah, you even came up to me and you're like, hey, I haven't thought of it like that before.
Yeah,
you know?
dude. I have an open mind.
That's fucking rad, dude.
No, it was cool. It was rad. Like, going back to that, like we've never met before yesterday. We've never rolled together. And it was a polite roll. He was being very polite with me. I know it. I can feel it. A little bit vice versa, but I'm like, he's a fucking behemoth. Like, I need to stay on my game. But he was being polite with me. And we had a nice roll. And we were trying, if I had the opportunity to sub him, I would have subbed him. He had the opportunity to sub me. He subbed me.
You can feel he's dangerous.
Bro, when...
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so right away, when we rolled, he got a deep grip.
That's my setup.
On my lapel.
Yeah.
And I was not comfortable with that.
You shouldn't be comfortable.
You
with
went to
that.
try to break it.
Because he's a fucking black belt.
Okay, not just because he got his fucking black belt today. Okay, not just because of that, but when he put his he got a deep grip on the lapel, and I could tell that it wasn't leaving. And I was like, okay, so I'm halfway fucked right now. And this was within...
Initiative. He has it right now.
It was right after he pulled guard. I'm ashamed. It was right after he pulled guard. He got a deep lapel grip in, and I was like, okay, this isn't going anywhere. I'm on alert.
You want to hear something fucked up too? I made the decision. If I had subbed you from that position... I would I was gonna wrestle with you and let you fuck me up, but I had to get one.
Well, I'm telling you, I was on a high alert, because I was like, we're training, but it wasn't like when you and I wrestled or went the first time. I was like, he knows what the fuck is coming or whatever,
yeah.
And so we're on.
Yeah, we're
on.
We're done. Yeah.
And we're rolling, and he gets that fucking deep lapel grip. And I was like, this motherfucker that's a serious grip. I'm not getting that off. So I was on high alert because, and you almost got a.
Yeah, I came around the back.
Yeah, he tried to get across lapel over the shoulder.
No, I chose not to throw the armbar over because I knew he was going
to sub you is what I heard.
He definitely did. But no, he did. He went for because you grabbed over my shoulder lapel,
for
right?
a second. Yeah.
And you tried it to see
what your reaction was, came back.
Yeah, and I flexed and
blocked it off. Man,
I flexed and broke it. But it was okay, I was not comfortable with that, and I knew he could absolutely sub me with a cross lapel choke right now. If he puts this second one in,
it's a problem.
I have to defend it, or this is absolutely a problem. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be gasping. So I got through it, but it was I was concerned.
But that's what's so cool. Very nice jujitsu, man.
But here's
really.
the other thing. This is one thing that makes me happy because, dude, me and Lapin haven't rolled much. No, actually, all of you guys. I can probably count the rounds we've had on one hand.
6 maybe.
I knew Zach was going to be.
You know what I'm saying?
With everybody talking about when I saw Zach and he's got fucking brass knuckles tattooed on the side of his head, and I was like, right on. We're gonna have a tango, and but then I'm just looking at him and I assume that
I don't know how that round went. Tell me how that round went.
He looks like a savage.
Yeah. Zach's fucking awesome, man. He's
before we even go out, I have not said a word to him, but we're all back here, right? And what's the guy's name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy and him were talking, and Zach took a scoop of pre-workout straight to the face before the seminar.
Yeah. And you're like,
and Jeremy was like, come on, man, just do a half a scoop. I'm fucking almost 40 or whatever he said, And he was like, nah, man, we're fucking going, And I was like, all right, I can tell already. That's my type of people.
Yeah.
Dude, the opposite of that, this motherfucker tried to bully me earlier.
That's what I like to roll with.
Dude, the first date roll. We talked about this yesterday before the seminar and everything. Hey, first date roll, first time roll with people. Cool. We're homies, but it's literally the first time we rolled. We've known each other 9 months. You were her for a minute when I came down to Louisiana. I hurt my knee and then my chest. We haven't rolled yet.
Nope.
Cool. He gets his fucking black belt. Cool. Hey, let me be your first roll. We're flowing. In my head, we're flowing.
You didn't say flow though.
it's first day.
I immediately matched your speed.
Flow or
Immediately.
No, the fuck you did not.
Yeah,
I
did.
did
No, you did not.
100%.
Hey.
I sat to my guard and was like, cool, we're flowing.
Are you mad he
started
choked you?
smashing me. No, he didn't choke me. He started smashing me and I was like, damn, I thought we were flow rolling.
Bro,
First date roll.
hey.
First date roll. And I was
Lapin's
like, oh, we're
stronger than you think he's gonna be.
No, I didn't think he was gonna be strong. I know he's strong as fuck. Look at
Yeah,
him, dude.
but bro, like,
Dude, he was smashing me and I was like, oh, I thought first
there's
date
a
and I was chilling.
there's a very small percentage of men. I was gonna say that are at our level, right? But it's like
That's true. That's
boy,
the
hey,
truth. That's the
when
truth.
you're
though.
going hard, there's a handful of training partners,
Brother.
that can hammer,
I
right?
did not start hard. I literally started like a fucking first day. Oh, cool.
But bro,
And he
you don't
started
know if people
fucking
have that or
giving
not
it. Like,
until you roll with them.
Maybe he's working on his guard. I don't know.
dude, hey, to his credit though, he was like, oh shit, we're flowing. Okay, we started flowing. It was good. It was
immediately.
fine.
Yeah, as soon as I felt your vibe, I dialed
He
it
was
down.
like, oh wait, I thought we were first
I'm
day.
thinking
Like,
young Vic. I've heard all this shit about you. I'm thinking young Vic's trying to
but
fucking
I was
take
like,
my
dude,
head off.
Grandpa fucking Greg over here is like fucking, oh, we're flow rolling.
I do wear reading glasses. I do wear reading glasses now.
Dude, I see Zach, taking pre-workout and all that shit, and they're having this conversation or whatever.
Because I want to hear how this played out.
And then during the ceremony, they're like talking about Zach's like a fucking wild man, and like he wants to push the pace and all this stuff.
Every fucking round.
And I have not said a word to him, but I know that we're gonna roll, and I know that we're gonna have a great time. Because I'm like, hey. If you like it, I love it. And like I like to go hard. Like if you want to roll fucking like a bitch, I'll roll like a bitch, whatever. But if you want to roll like a fucking savage, I'm all for it. Like I prefer that. And so I knew that we were gonna get a roll. And like, and for those of you who don't know Zach, he is a black belt. I just met today. Crazy good shape. Nipple rings.
Yeah, dual nipple piercings.
Pierced dual nipples and like
brass knuckles tattooed on the side of his head.
Fucking 6-pack shredded athlete.
Cool as fuck.
Cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Great shape. Shaved sides of the head with brass knuckles tattooed on the side of his head and bleach blonde fucking hair or whatever. And I'm like, and eyes like he just snorted coke.
and one of the sweetest fucking dudes you'll
super
ever
cool.
meet.
That dude's
I'm
cool.
not-
I chat with him for 20 minutes.
Not talking shit about him at all. Not talking shit
he's
about
our
him.
wild man, yeah.
Not talking shit about him at all. Super cool. And but he's like everybody's like, you want to go?
Let's fucking go. Hey, bro,
And
let's go, man. Come on, let's get it around.
So after the ceremony goes down or whatever, and the everybody's teaching their little all the black belts and myself. I'm a brown belt, but everybody's teaching like
Not
a
for
little
long. We gotta fix that shit.
a little move. They're showing a move, and Zach's like, he walks by and he's looking at me and he's like, you me? You me?
Bro, as soon as you started thinking that shit, he was thinking it too.
He must have. He must have looked at me and was
Because
like,
anywhere else on the streets,
well,
it's
he
a
was
scrap,
saying,
but
he
he's
was like,
"Let's get it."
I love testing myself against like, I guess you can tell like I'm athletic, whatever. And I've got a brown belt on. So he wants to test himself. So, and he's like, you, me? And I'm like, yeah, we can go. Like, I already knew we were going to go.
We had a date with destiny.
Yeah. So, we got to roll, and again, it was like, yeah, no problem, no, but not a dick, measuring contest or nothing like that, and like I will match people's intensity, but I knew he was going to be intense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So I just went into it like it's going down, and he fucking pulled guard too though. Like, but he said he just does jujitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he used to fight MMA.
Used to fight. Now he
just does jujitsu.
And he's really working on his like competition, like winning medals shit.
Whatever. I didn't. Whatever. You want to pull guard, you pull guard. But I didn't think anything. No. Everyone pulled guard today.
You know what's funny too? We don't pull guard in here. We wrestle. We do. Like every
No one
class,
wrestled me.
Every class starts with a takedown.
But Greg Lapin promoted that I was coming here with the video of me snapping Greg down.
100%,
Yeah, that's
bro.
dirty.
We weren't wrestling you, bro.
So no one wrestled me. But yeah, like, and I was like wanting to wrestle him, and I thought he would, but
Jeremy would have wrestled you.
I would have wrestled.
we ended he pulled guard, whatever. We ended up
He doesn't
rolling.
like Mexicans.
But like we had a good match, and it was back and forth, and it was a lot of sweeps, and I took his back, and I didn't sub him, but like I would say I got the better. I'm not no disrespect or anything like it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But he not that I even got the better of him like by far. I think I happened to have more of a dominant position. Yeah. But it was very close. Yeah. And I could tell he was very good and an athlete and everything like that and super competitive, and it was a fun role. And a lot of people that like people must have like known that we were going to roll
because people were
gathered around watching, and it was like, ooh, Zach and Mitch are going to roll.
I like that, dude. I like that it ended like that too.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Everybody got to fucking
watch
a wild roll.
It was a 5-minute roll. The time ran out, and it was just like, hey, cool, good roll.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, and he was a cool dude. Super nice, super cool. And, and he was saying, I understood where he was coming from. Like, because not everybody is a fucking athlete, right. On a different level, especially in jiu-jitsu in your 30s or whatever. Like,
yeah, Zach's 35, right?
Yeah, he's 35.
Yeah.
But like, dude,
so he's encroaching on old man status.
In jiu-jitsu, like, you have people that are fucking like, that work a regular 9-to-5 cubicle type job, and they're here doing jiu-jitsu as a hobby because it's fun or whatever. Right. He's a fucking athlete.
He lives that shit.
He's an athlete, and he wants to test himself.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And he's looking for other fucking people to test himself. He's not testing himself with the fucking grocery bagger. Right. Who's doing this as a hobby, who's a purple belt.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference from when you're a fucking athlete and you can smash people as a white belt, You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But that's what it was. And it was a good roll, good fun times. I had a good time.
There was some fucking good technique today. I gotta say, like, I was taking notes earlier. We were driving around. Josh, Jeremy, Greg, Rob. I mean, everyone was showing some amazing technique. It was cool to be here at your gym, learning all these little details. Like, oh shit, like there was like 4 out of 5 out of 6 things I had not seen before. Little details. The stuff you showed
I'm
earlier.
I'm gonna start doing your back take.
Yeah, what was this back take?
Because I do that arm drag all the fucking time to set up my pendulum sweep, and I get there all the fucking time.
You don't do the foot, the instep.
I go pendulum sweep, and if I can't get the pendulum sweep because they base out, I go belly down arm bar.
Bro, you get that. If you can get the arm drag,
yeah.
This is like
I get the arm drag. I get the arm drag.
90%. 90% this will work.
All the time. I get the arm drag.
Dude.
Hell yeah.
Because we went over that backside triangle shit that no one else saw.
Yeah, I wanted to teach the back mounted triangle, but my session got cut short.
Dude. By your fault. You fucking took way too long.
You can only teach one thing because there's how many fucking 10 people that showed something.
That's crazy.
And like these seminars, like the belt ceremony itself was fucking long, you know? Even like, cause you want to say it's a big deal, everybody's getting.
Cause our homie got his black belt.
I don't think you should talk that much about blue belts, like getting your blue belt, like, hey, good job. You've shown up. Good job.
You're the best of the worst. Here you go.
Like the black belts, the brown belts,
I gotta give a shout out to Alex. Alex been in some shit. He's been through the ringer, and he was against Geese 1. He's been fucking.
I'll tell you what, like, there's you see, obviously you're proud to promote all of your students, but there's a couple like maybe like personally identify with, or just not mean more to you. That's not the right way to say it, but like,
bro, you vibe with people over other people.
Yeah.
My favorite.
I'm Greg's best friend.
Bro.
And about to be his black belt.
That's why I'm in the book.
Bro, my favorite kid, his family moved to Tennessee.
Oh yeah, you told me. Yeah.
And it's like, I got 100 awesome kids that train jiu-jitsu there, and there was something about him. I was like, that's going to be my motherfucker one day.
Yeah.
And then he moved. And bro, it hurt.
Oh yeah.
But, and it's just people. You vibe with people, some people more than others.
And Alex is one of those. Alex came in, man. He came in, he hadn't trained jiu-jitsu before.
Was Guns and Geese's first introduction to jiu-jitsu?
No. He came here to train before that.
Okay.
But he never trained before, came in with his 2 boys. He's from Brazil, but never really trained. And he's like, man, I don't know why. I'm going to join. I don't know why I've never done it before. And he came and joined, and he's fucking bought in, dude. And he's like just an amazing personality here, an amazing teammate, and he's fucking skyrocketing, comes to all the competitions with me, and he won his division in pans.
Dude.
You know,
meeting that guy,
year,
the things
you know,
he's been through, which I heard at Guns and Geese, and seeing him here on the mat, being able to reconnect and over, you know, social media, and then seeing him get his blue belt today, he was emotional and kind of knowing some of his stories. Like, dude, you fucking earned that. Like, I'm super proud of you as a friend, super excited, and seeing that it was a beautiful connection.
Fuck yeah.
Jiu-jitsu has impacted, changed your life, your boys' lives, your fucking marriage. I mean, it's incredible,
massive,
man.
bro.
It's incredible.
I was like, you know, the one other blue belt that I almost cried when I promoted him, but you know, yeah, fucking faggot, pussy. But he's fucking former active duty Army dude and struggled with a lot of shit. And when he first came and signed up at the gym, he was like,
Does it do with the shoulder thing?
Oh no.
No, bro, I know what you said because you said we walked some of the same paths together, and I was like, I know what the fuck
he
you
had
guys
some
talking
ups
about.
and downs, and he had some like really serious lows, and he would like reach out to me and call me or text me, you know. And then he started coming back to the gym, and I started seeing that climb. I'm like, you fucking need to be here, motherfucker. Like, don't fucking not come. And bro, he's just bought into it now. And he's like, but he's finally like, I think he's gotten over that precipice, you know. And like,
yeah, man.
He's like healthier mentally, emotionally, physically. And he's a fucking motherfucker to deal with. You know, he grew up wrestling in high school and stuff, but like mentally and emotionally for him now, that's the overcome that I saw.
Yeah.
You know, and that means a fucking lot to me. You know,
Dude, it's interesting because I always talk to people who say, hey, how do you describe jiu-jitsu? I've been doing it for 10 years now. And so for me, it's like, what was it like being a beginner? Right. But for me, it's like, I don't have to describe that experience as a white belt. Right. Because I can say, as a white belt, I loved getting smashed because I remember being mad, but also excited. Like, damn, I need to learn this. So whatever, the trial through fire was different. But that moment, how I describe it to people is, hey, it's the three pillars of, hey, it's community. You're going to meet people that you never thought you'd meet because once you put the gi on the mat, it doesn't matter where the fuck you're from. Corporate 500 companies, blue collar dudes, whatever. You're all on the same mat, right? You're getting something physical out of it. You're losing weight. You're becoming a better person. It's an amazing experience. And then you're mentally learning, right? We have more philosophical discussions on the mats after practice.
Oh, fuck yeah.
We call it class. We call it academies for a reason. You're learning every single day. Yeah. You come to jiu-jitsu, right? And it's those three pillars that make it the most fucking incredible experience possible.
You
I love that
definitely
shit.
have an awesome academy here, man.
Yeah.
thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
It's honestly like I'm so jealous that like both you and Greg Anderson. Like I wish that like I'm a jiu-jitsu nomad, you know, right now and
right now
I am, and you know it sucks.
Boy.
It sucks because Greg's, you know, Anderson's gym is in fucking, you know, in Lake Stevens,
Washington,
not Seattle. Sorry,
because there's nothing.
There's no Walmarts in Seattle.
No Walmarts
or Outbacks
or Outbacks or fucking Wendy's. There's no Wendy's.
They've got these things called Ace Hardwares
in
Yeah.
Seattle.
Fucking Vic came to Louisiana and was like, "What's McDonald's? We don't have that in fucking Seattle."
There's no Ubers in Madisonville.
So, you know, no, but Greg Anderson's gym and fucking Lake Stevens is fucking dope, you know, and I vibe with Greg. Obviously, you know, we're best friends. That's why I'm in the book.
That's right.
I'm his
by Smashing Greens, massive.
And, you know, and Greg Lapin here in Louisiana has a fucking dope gym, super dope. And, you know, and I miss that for sure. I'm a jiu-jitsu nomad, and I train like once a month.
Bro, so look, here's my deal, my motivation. When I met Greg and Joao, they both had like 25 students. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah,
they both had like 25
accurate.
students. They came down here and spent a week with me. And we trained and we hung out. We just fucking broed it up, but we also talked some business. And I'm not saying I'm responsible for it, but like I think I kind of helped guide a plan or light a little fucking fire under their ass. And you're at what, 160 now?
Yep.
And Joao's at like 130 now. Joao just netted his biggest month ever. Mm-hmm. And I went out to California to help Joao like with some marketing ideas and some
dude, I
merchandise.
can tell you're crazy disciplined too. You're
I wanna
Mr. Plan, Mr. fucking
bro.
like
Plan your dive your plan, bro.
Yeah, I'm not like that.
Wow,
but
he's
bro.
I'm smoke a bunch of weed and then dive in.
But look, you could have this. You could have this.
No, I know. Yeah.
You know, and you've got the will and the discipline and the smarts to do it.
And the charisma.
And the charisma to fucking do it. I think it's more you've been jaded by your experience. And let's fucking break that shell off you, dude. Let's fucking get you into this
Let
experience.
Anderson give you that fight shot.
This fucking team, you know, like build your team around you. You're the fucking man. You're the fucking man. Build your team underneath and around you, and you'll have this. 100 fucking
Yeah,
percent.
no, I'm definitely considering starting like my own, you know, gym or whatever.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
We'll see.
We're gonna make you do it.
While I'm orating their
We'll see.
book.
But it's definitely been cool to be here, and you know, you have a great gym and great atmosphere, both you guys. You know, and I definitely miss it. You know,
Yeah,
for sure.
Fuck yeah, man.
And it was like I was telling Greg, like it was kind of shitty, like sitting up there for the black belt ceremony, or you know, not just black belt ceremony, but like the belt ceremony or whatever, and that I miss that like sense of community and like that sense of brotherhood or whatever, just like family, you know, that like you have, and you know, and I'm like, damn, like, you know, I should be a black belt, you know,
You should
right
be
now.
a black belt, absolutely.
Like, but I'm just not a part of a home right now. You know, I don't have anything, even though, you know, I've been a brown belt for 4 fucking years and can smash most black belts.
Right.
You know, like,
But bro, I say we. We as like
Hey, you're part of the black
proverbially
belt
the team
now.
though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I know.
that can be fixed.
I know.
That can be fixed. You can start you've got your own thing, you know, and like you can start your own gym and you can be under the people that can help get the affiliations and the promotions and the IBJJF, you know.
No, it's
all
definitely
that
cool.
shit.
And, you know, and it's definitely making me, you know, think like, you know, maybe I should start my academy or whatever. And, you know, just build the culture and everything. Just like I
Massive
built,
jiu-jitsu
Dude, I
under
built-
Team Checkmat.
The Mitch Show BJJ.
dude, I built like massive, you know, like the community in my, or like the culture in my company,
Yeah.
you know, like,
By being able to beat up your employees.
bro, hey, it's a different type of fucking
Sign
environment.
this dotted line, please.
It's a different environment in the at the Mitch show, you know.
All right,
That's what it
guys.
is.
I know Victor's going to complain about this,
Dude, fuck Victor, bro.
but we're wrapping it up.
I'll edit this shit.
We're at 2 hours
Listen,
and 20
I'm
not
minutes.
complaining about
Victor, I don't
anything.
give
I
a
just love
fuck.
hanging out with my
We're at
friends
2
and having a
hours
good
and 20
time.
minutes, and that's the max of this show.
Listen,
if you
3 hours
don't
and
like
20.
it,
We're at 3 hours and
3
20.
hours and 20 minutes. And if
Victor,
you
I
don't
know
like-
where the fuck you live.
If you
Say it
don't
to my
like that
face.
we're wrapping it up, you can fuck
Seattle
yourself.
somewhere.
All right. So, anyone else, any final words before I push the stop button?
Yeah, I got my black belt today.
You did.
Yeah.
In case no one knew.
Greg Lapin got his fucking black belt today. If Victor has a fucking problem with it, he comes say it to his face.